Huddle. Russell Wilson appears to have found a new home. In a late-night tweet, he announced he is signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a one-year deal in the offing. The Dallas Cowboys have given wide receiver Michael Gallup permission to seek a trade. If they don't trade him first, the Cowboys could release Gallup ahead of the March 17th deadline and could save $9.5 million off the cap.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. That is my esteemed partner in crime, the managing editor. You know, he manages other editors. That's why he's the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson, sitting comfortably. Sitting in my, I didn't give his name. That's RJ Ochoa. Take a look at him. Go look at your device. You'll see a guy that is up and at him an hour earlier than accustomed and ready to go. Easy Edwin Hafner spent the night here, I believe. He never leaves. He was here yesterday.
Coming to do his craft.
You know, he is. You got to love what you do and do what you love. And that way you never work a day in your life. That way you can justify the, won't go there. How was your weekend?
It was fantastic. We saw the Easter Bunny, had a nice little Easter outing, and went and picked some eggs. No, I picked some eggs. What is it called?
I don't know.
Gathered some eggs.
Did you gather eggs from the, like toy eggs or from chickens?
They were toy eggs with Twizzlers inside.
Where was this?
And
is that like a kid's place?
Yeah, it was a local, you know, they had eggs and picture places and pet animals to pet, you know, things like that. So pony rides. I did my first pony ride with my son where I held him throughout walking with the pony. So kind of a fast creature, the pony, you know, had me hustling to keep up. So, but yeah, saw the Easter Bunny and whatnot. So it's pretty good.
Pretty good. Lots of good pictures.
Yeah. How about you?
I didn't get to do anything like that. You know, growing up, Easter was one of those holidays where pictures were taken. See, back in the day, we only took pictures maybe 2-3 times a year. That was it. Mm-hmm. There's like a picture of me a year for a long time. My generation, there's just not a lot of pictures.
Is it one of those, like, not oil paintings, but like everyone like gathers like above the, like on the staircase, like super serious?
We have several of those. We have my mother was great about having the family pictures, but I'm talking about like the individual pictures. You know, the only way you know what age I was my school picture. That's it. That and, you know, like slowly fading away Polaroids from 1979. There's just not a lot of photo evidence. But Easter was always one of those because there was always the new Easter suit, the Easter clothes. So was Roel adorned? You know, was he dressed in his Easter finest?
He wasn't for this. I mean, he just had a nice little sweater, get up, nice little colorful sweater to go with the kind of. Yeah, I'll text you some pictures. Okay. But yeah, he enjoyed it. He really liked the pony. Again, he just kept saying 1, 2, 3, go, 1, 2, 3, go, and it was like, dude, he's going.
Like, settle down. This guy, you don't want him to really go.
Exactly. Like I'm holding you on, and I'm barely keeping up. So it was a good time.
Good. It's feeling springish. We sprung forward, and I think anybody listening right now is feeling the ramifications of the lost hour of life that we're suffering through. We just gave it up. Just gave him an hour.
Dumb.
It's
dumb. Did you even feel yesterday like it was different? Because I didn't.
Yeah, man, I could, because, you know, it's getting. My wife starts cooking, and I'm like, I'm not even hungry. You know, it's one of those things. And then I got to get up so early, so I couldn't go to sleep. So I'm heavily caffeinated.
But you were watching the Oscars too. That's part.
I was watching the Oscars. The Oscars were good last night. I enjoyed it. Jimmy Kimmel's a funny dude. Jimmy Kimmel is quick on his feet, and I enjoyed what he does.
Most prominent job in stand-up comedy, so I would assume that he's pretty quick with it.
You know, hosting the Oscars ain't an easy gig, man. You screw that up, you are made fun of forever.
Yeah. I mean, he's done it more than once. He's done it like 10 times.
Yeah, but what was the guy, Billy? There's one dude that did it over and over and over and over as well.
Billy Crystal?
Billy Crystal did it a lot. Was always a natural at it. But last night was good. What my takeaway was, certainly the movie I liked, Oppenheimer, won enough awards.
Yeah. By the way, I looked it up. The longest tenured host of the Oscars hosted it 19 times. It was not Billy Crystal. Do you have a guess who it was?
19.
You'll be mad.
Gosh, I feel like I should know this.
Yeah, I think he'll be really upset if I tell you and you didn't guess it.
Oh, you know what? If given enough time.
No, it's too late. Bob Hope.
Oh, wow. That's even before my time. No, that's
well, Bob Hope
wouldn't come to mind at all. What was it doesn't say the last year that he did that.
No, but Oppenheimer cleaned up.
Oh, they did, and it should have. It's the best movie I'd seen. But the best thing about last night's Oscars was the tributes from former winners for the big time ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not a purple ribbon, participant ribbon kind of guy. I always feel like there's first place, and if you ain't first, you're last, kind of thing. You know, it is an honor to just be nominated. But to hear former nominees and winners talk about those, whether they were going to win or not, about each one of the individual performances, not only I think it kind of gave some weight to the nomination, but two, it made me want to see the movies more so than just them being nominated. When I hear the guys talking about how well they did, you go, man, I got to see that.
So what you're talking about is for the major awards, they had 5 previous winners of the award in question describe, because they do the like running through the nominees, you know what I mean? But they had each one, discuss a nominee. And there was a little bit of like, Nick Cage is one of
what?
A little confusion there. But what I appreciate about stuff like that, beyond the purple ribbon stuff, is when you win, like this is an Oscar, right? Like it's like the peak of this profession.
Right.
And so when you win it, you are entering an elite fraternity. And so I do think there's something like it's cool when all the Heisman winners are up on stage.
Right.
And you're like, I'm part of you now.
Welcome.
Like, so that is very cool. Even for, this is a unique event in that you can win it multiple times, but it's cool to see Cillian Murphy show up and shake the hands of everyone. And I wonder if Cillian's like, hey, hey, McConaughey, you didn't describe me. I bet you were rooting for Bradley Cooper because you described his movie.
And
this got to be awkward for you.
I thought of all the tributes, McConaughey's was the worst. Of all the one that really dropped the ball is the guy that I thought would really be poetic in offering a tribute to his dude. But the way it's like, yeah, and you're in Barbie, movement next.
Yeah, well,
it's like, man.
It was Bradley Cooper that he was hyping up. He was like, yeah, you wrote Maestro. But yeah, I was surprised that, McConaughey wasn't like, everybody go buy tickets for Austin FC at the very end or something like that. So,
not like it. But he didn't do it. It's a fantastic night. If you didn't see it, we'll kind of look at all the. I was kind of surprised the what's her name? The what's her name? Gladstone? I could have said the name wrong. The young lady that was in Flower Moon, whatever, was the Native American lady who was expected to win. Didn't. And Emma Stone
Gladstone.
did. Yeah, Gladstone.
Yeah.
And
Emma Stone's cleaning up, man.
She is.
She's putting together a Mahomes-like career.
What do you think of her?
I mean,
you like her stuff?
Name a performance she's had that you thought was bad.
She's of my era. There was like Meryl Streep won every year. Like it didn't matter. Meryl Streep was in the movie. She is going to win. It's starting to turn into Emma Stone. If Emma Stone's nominated, she's gonna win.
You got to be well-rounded nowadays because you think like Jennifer Lawrence was one of the people who presented that.
Last night,
she was she was one of the 5, and you got to be funny. You know what I mean? Like you can't just be like Meryl Streep wasn't like the funniest actress ever.
She's getting old. We have to give her a lot. We give Pacino some room. Let's give her some room.
I'm saying like in her peak. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be well-rounded. You got to be able to do everything nowadays. So, welcome to the future.
Let's talk about what we saw this weekend. The Spurs are playing as good a basketball they have in the last couple years. I don't know how else to define it. And they did it without their 2 best dudes when we last saw them against Golden State. Was that Friday or Saturday night? Saturday night. We get them again tonight. We'll talk about it. We do expect Wemby to return, although we don't need him. We did perfectly fine without him. I don't know what all this fuss was about. Without him, we beat Golden State on the road for the first time in forever, I believe. And here is a stat for our morning crew to percolate on. As we sit right now, your San Antonio Spurs are the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA since the All-Star break. I'll say that again. The Spurs are the best three-point shooting basketball team in the NBA today. In fact, this has been since the All-Star break. I didn't see it coming either. Didn't see that.
It's absurd. They've only won 3 of those games, to be clear.
Well,
so not translating the way we would have.
Malachi Brenham lost one game. The Spurs won it. Malachi gave one away, so that's on him. Lazy
that was
ass
the
pass.
kind of. It was weird because that was the kind of night we thought like, wow, you almost did this without Wemby. Like you almost went to Sacramento. You know what I mean? You almost pulled this off, and it was kind of like, oh, I guess you're really not cut out for this. Just for them to do it against, I mean, Golden State's still, a mount for some people, right? Like, oh, we beat the Warriors, but I mean, not necessarily. I mean, there's no Steph. There's a lot of context that's necessary, but like, what a freaking statement! Like, what a
really
freaking, these are the like. This is a game in the summer when people are hyping up, when the Spurs trade for Trae Young and Woj and Ramona and everybody's talking about an NBA today, they'll be like, remember, the Spurs went to Golden State without Wemby and without Devin Vassell back in March, and they smoked her. And they did smoke them. Like, this wasn't like a last second, kind of whatever. This was never a doubt.
Front to back, a beating. And it was fun watching them play like college basketball. I mean, they were running backdoor cut plays and what's that? I forget the name of their bread and butter play. It used to be 4 down back in the day. They have a new called Wiggle, something Wiggle. I don't know what it is, but their bread and butter play worked all night long. We're going to talk a lot about the Spurs. They took care of Golden State. Let's see if they can do it again. And they are on an uptick. Let's see if they can maintain it. It's early yet on a Monday, but this is going to be one crazy week in the NFL as the tampering period will be in full effect beginning this afternoon. We got a lot of players that have signed over the weekend. Russell Wilson made news last night in a tweet about midnight. He told us that he's headed to Pittsburgh. It appears to be a 1-year deal. I can't wait to talk about this move because in my mind, RJ, this was the ideal landing spot. Perfect place to go rehab your image.
For Russ?
Yes. Perfect.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, it's do or die. I mean, Thomas not going to put up with some of that crap that you've done. So I appreciate Russell going, well, obviously there's a narrative about me. Let's change it.
You mean the intro video tweet that he tweeted out last
that
night?
Stuff. Yeah, well, there is that. I mean, he's got a crew.
That's the stuff that's
he's got a staff he has to pay.
I mean, I don't know, man. This feels.
It's perfect, right? See, you're with me.
I'm not with you.
What? This is perfect.
I'm interested to watch it unfold, but not feel. Russ's career at this point is like the Fast and Furious franchise. It's like, it's going to be cheesy. It's going to be goofy. Something ridiculous is going to happen. Like they're going to go to outer space and, it's not going to be really quality anymore.
Yeah, but something's going to explode. There's going to be one cool highlight after another. Hey, we're going to talk NFL, but coming around a bend, the Spurs did what we thought was impossible. They went into Golden State and took care of business without Victor and without Devin. Can they do it again? We're talking Spurs very quickly thereafter. The ramifications of Russell, a very rich running back market, predicting the first big names to fall in this regular, this non-tampering, two-tamper season, whatever the hell we're going to call it. Hold on. It's going to be a great week. Started with a great segment. We're talking Spurs next. And you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, 120. Or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th. Presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to gawon'twait.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Hi, I'm Jade, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the savoriness of the sausage, the fluffiness of the egg, and the butteriness of the biscuit. It's amazing. The perfect start to my day.
Hi, everyone. It's Justin. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the fluffy egg, the melted cheese, and the sizzling sausage. It's the start to your morning that you didn't know you need.
Order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and Simply Orange juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
It's time, basketball bettors. It's March Mania. I'm Rob Thompson here to tell you about BetUS.com. I endorse only one sportsbook and casino, and it's BetUS.com. They've been driving to the hoop for over 30 years, and this year, BetUS has an epic three-pointer. 125% sign-up bonus on your first three deposits. That's right. I said it. It's the industry's craziest. 125% sign-up bonus on your first three deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance, and there's even more. BetUS accepts crypto and is offering a massive 200% crypto sign-up bonus. Gamblers insurance and crypto? You don't see that everywhere. You don't see it anywhere but BetUS. March Mania basketball can get even more exciting with their live in-game betting. It's also a blast to check out their casino game before and after. And where could you get a 250% casino bonus? It's BetUS. Get started by visiting BetUS.com or give them a call at 1-800-MY-BET-US to learn more about their bonuses and special offers. BetUS. It's where the game begins.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Picture this. It's Saturday morning and you're on your John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground on your new landscaping project. Next, you're moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever. And now, you're enjoying the warmth of the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand everything you can do with a John Deere compact tractor, you just have to get in the seat. Learn more at johndeere.com/get-in-the-seat or visit a dealer near you.
With no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. It is my morning reminder, my morning warning. RJ and I are going to be playing golf in 2 weeks, and we want you to play with us. No, well, we're going to watch people play golf. We're going to bring our clubs. We're going to bring our sticks. But we're going to be working while you guys are heading out. But we are playing golf. We want you to come play with us. It'll be at the Golf Course Club of Texas, our favorite track here in San Antonio. I want to thank Flight by Yingling and Sierra for being part of this big fun. To play, you have to go to sasportstar.com, and you got to get signed up fast. I haven't gotten the latest. I think we're down to 4 teams available, or 4 total, 16 spots. So if you're single and you're waiting, no worries. We'll find you a spot. But if you got your foursome, you better get in there as fast as you possibly can. So on Saturday night, the Spurs earned their very first victory without victors. Did you realize that? They defeated the Warriors 126-113. They were 0-7 in games without Wemby. Devin didn't play either. They were 12.5-point underdogs. Biggest upset this season for the Spurs. Largest upset loss for the Warriors in a couple years.
You know what game I was excited to play this morning, right?
At what point were we assured that the Spurs chances of victory? What was the last point where they weren't, or when did we know that they were?
Yeah, so
Gosh,
the Spurs.
This was a whooping.
This was a cruise control win for the Spurs. I mean, like just kudos to them. They went, anaconda style, baby. You with me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals. That was the Spurs energy on this Saturday night. They just kind of suffocated them. It was a slow death. So that being said, what was the last point of the game that the Spurs held a negative win probability?
Gosh, first quarter, 8 minutes into the first.
This is the closest you've ever been, I think. It was with 11:26 left in the second. So
okay.
not quite.
That little 5-minute stretch, yeah.
Yeah, at that point, they were up 34-27, but Golden State still had a 51.2% win probability. But then San Antonio stretched it to 10 and achieved a 55.3% win probability and never looked back. I mean, it did dip, but never dipped below 50.
The Spurs shot 50% on threes for the first time this season. Went 17 of 33. They had 5 different players with 17 points. Now, I don't want to draw a lot of inferences here because they were out there without Devin and Victor. So you have your 1 and your 1A, depending on or 1 and 2 options, depending. And we just saw Pop get to run a game where they had to run the plays that he called, and everybody ran the plays and everybody hustled like there was no tomorrow. And it was a fun game to watch. It was a ridiculous game to watch. Now, you found a stat, RJ, that I want to stick to all day long, because in my memory of the San Antonio Spurs, and I would like to say that this might not have ever happened before, that the stat that you're about to offer, in my memory as a Spurs fan, and I've been a Spurs fan for longer than I care to admit, I'm pretty sure I would like to find if they have ever led the league at this in this category at any point during the season, other than now.
Shout out to Matt Tynan, who has a great Substack covering the Spurs. He's going to. So we mentioned it a moment ago that the Spurs are. I think more context is necessary than you just offered. So the Spurs are the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA since the All-Star break.
Wow.
That in and of itself is amazing, right? Like, that is just stupid. Now, it's only 9 games, but still you're talking, well, that's 10% of the season. You know what I mean? Like, that's, when you think about it that way. So more than 10% of the season. But so, I mean, barely, but still. But when you couch it with this, and this is what Tynan did in his tweet, they were the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA prior to the All-Star break. What, like, this is, if you ever doubted regression to the mean, like this is the ultimate indication of that. So they, prior to the All-Star break, which is a much larger sample size, to be fair, 33.9%. Since the All-Star break, 42.9.
I don't even know where to begin with this. And I would like to dig deeper. Somehow we're going to find out. Have the Spurs ever prior to now led the league in 3-point shooting percentage? Now, they're not, the volume's not like Boston, who takes probably 5-6 shots more a game, right? They're leading the league in 3-point.
I'm certain that they've done it at some point over a 9-game stretch. I'm sure we could find a 9-game stretch where they led the
I'm
league.
serious, dude. I mean, since Pop's been around, the 3-point has never really been an important part of the game at all. So
Wemby, because you were talking about pre-show how this is like mostly Wemby.
I think it is.
So since the All-Star break, Wemby has kind of caught his own level of fire. Is that fair to say?
Very much so.
So Wemby didn't play, obviously. Well, he didn't put up a 3 against Houston is maybe the best way to put it, because he barely played.
Yeah.
So didn't have any there. So that actually deflates his own. Well, I guess it doesn't deflate the percentage, but his per game statistics. But he had the crazy 3 of 4. I'm sorry, he was 2 of 5 from 3 against Houston, and he was 3 of 4 against Indianapolis. And he was 5 of 7 against Oklahoma City. I mean, he's been hot as of late. He has shot north of 40% from 3 in 3 straight games, and we're dipping down. He had that 2-game run where he was 70% or higher.
It is a ridiculous number when you consider worst to first, primarily. But you can see the method to Pop's madness for all of this. I mean, this inverted offense and how much opens up when Victor's hitting the 3. How much more of this offense becomes available to the rest of the guys just because Victor's hitting the 3, where the commitment has to be not just 1 but 2, that there can't be anybody at the rim, and because they've got to come out and defend that. And that, you can't defend Victor once he has the ball. You have to defend him coming up at midcourt, because once he gets the ball, you ain't stopping that shot. So you have to, if you're going to keep him from getting it or hitting the 3, you got to keep him from getting it, which means you got to commit to defending him so far out that there are just gaps in the defense, and everybody else benefits. Wide open 3s are, suddenly available, not just to the first pass, but to the second pass too, or not the other way around. Not just to the second pass, but the first guy suddenly has an option. Shot selection's better. It just flows.
So if we look at the best 3-point shooting teams in the NBA since the All-Star break, so Spurs are number 1, Celtics number 2, New Orleans is number 3, the Lakers are 4, the Thunder are 5. If you want to dip a little bit further, Miami 6, Cleveland 7, Milwaukee 8, Dallas 9, Denver 10 to kind of round out your top 10. Of the teams in the top 5, the Spurs have a negative plus minus as a team.
Well, yeah.
So, but that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a difficult thing to achieve. You know what I'm saying? So like think about it. They lead Boston in 3-point percentage, and to be fair, they're putting up 5 fewer 3s a game than Boston. So the percentage is, there aren't a lot of opportunities, but the Spurs are making the most of them. To be clear, but anyway, so Spurs have a negative 1.6 plus minus. Meanwhile, Boston has a 16.5 plus minus. So, like, you talk about meat on the bone. The Spurs are like eating the skin. You know what I mean?
Really?
And like leaving only meat. It's kind of crazy.
And that shows how quickly things can turn, though. I mean, you start shooting 3s, suddenly the games get easier. It didn't hurt that Golden State is steadily declining. They've lost 3 of they're 10th in the West.
If you mention it, I mean, Spurs were 75% from the free throw line, which is also, got to take care of business. But in this game specifically, they were 51.5% from 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so like, and the whole game, it felt like Golden State was down 10, 12, 13, whatever. And anytime they nailed it, boom, 3, boom, 3, boom, Jeremy 3, boom, Cal. I mean, it was just never, it was death by 1,000 paper cuts kind of thing. And if a team is shooting, 52% from 3, it's difficult to really ever close the gap.
I can't. I'd like to see the numbers for teams that are shooting above 50% win percentage. Got to be in the upper 80s. Coming back, we've got lots of NFL talk for you. Over the weekend, several dudes have signed, but we got big news late last night. We'll tell you where Russell Wilson thinks he'll be playing next year and figure out if he can actually make the team. Russell signs. We'll tell you where next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, it is the legal tampering period in the NFL. What in the world are the Cowboys going to do?
Yeah, probably nothing, but the NFL world will be rolling. We'll have the latest. Plus, Spurs and Warriors will Wemby play on Monday night. We'll have the latest on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Don't you love an extra $100 in your pocket? Have a TurboTax expert file your taxes for you by March 31st to get $100 back instantly. Because no matter what moves you made last year, TurboTax makes them count. That means getting $100 back and 100% accurate taxes, only from Intuit TurboTax. Must file by 3/31. Credit only applicable to federal filing fees with TurboTax full service. Offer can be modified or terminated at any time.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most if you've been injured. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back, my emotions are stable, and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
If you've been thinking about buying a new car or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, think Ancira.com. Browse through thousands of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and RVs. Shop for your next new Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Ford, Buick, or GMC. Or if you're looking for an import, we have a huge selection of Kias, VWs, and Nissans. Or for your home away from home, a full line of RVs and campers. And you'll always get the lowest Ancira price, in store or online at Ancira.com.
Texting
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait, text ENERGY to 200-300.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
This is Andy Monaco and the Irish play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. About 9:45, we're going to air our grievances over the weekend. I got a few. How are you doing this morning, RJ? You ready for the week that is?
Yeah, I had a good Sunday evening. Good Sunday dinner. Did some shrimp tacos.
Ooh, yum.
And excited to dabble in the leftovers today. And then watched the Oscars, watched Lakers, T-Wolves while doing some reading. Caught up on stuff. Watched an episode of binging Drive to Survive, trying to catch up there. And so I feel refreshed despite losing an hour.
You watched any of the F1 race? On Saturday?
Did. Of course I did. Yeah. How about
God, it's been boring so far.
I know. But Ferrari is my team here in our
the young brother, the Ollie Speed Demon, whatever's the kid got 7th, 8th.
That's right. But Charles Leclerc, your boy Carlos, was absent.
Yeah, appendicitis.
So
his appendix
from a
attacked
team
him.
standpoint, Minix, ever the bandwagon jumper, took Red Bull. So in terms of real teams, mine is leading the way.
It should.
You're
well, Jason Minix and Red Bull. I deliberately didn't take him because that was too easy.
I know.
And my guy with it's still early in the season. He can miss a race with his, but it hurt as far as the driver's standing. It did hurt when
the old appendix.
Carlos did not appear. So late last night, the twit hit. Russell Wilson's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. And I'll tell you, my first thought when I saw that was perfect. Although I will say that it does feel a lot like Cam Newton signing with Belichick. And, it feels a lot like a guy that feels like, the narrative about me is one thing, and I got to go prove to others that I can do it a different way. So he went to Belichick. It didn't work. But I think that there were some other issues. For me, I think Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh is the ideal landing spot for him. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'll tell you, he's got the best opportunity to rehab himself under Mike Tomlin.
So I want to be very careful with my words, because what I'm about to say is kind of rude, but Broncos fans are kind of pretentious.
Yeah, they are.
Broncos fans, because they haven't had to really live through anything bad. I mean,
well, I can remember a Super Bowl where they got pantsed.
Well, but still, like they emerged from, and this is about Russ, but they emerged from the Jay Cutler era, which was kind of successful, and stumbled around because of the whole, Josh McDaniels thing. And Kyle Orton was great, led the league in passing, whatever. And then the Tebow thing happens, and it's just like magic, lightning in a bottle. And then they land Peyton Manning in free agency, and they go to 2 Super Bowls. They win one of them. Everything's hunky dory, and their team was always built off of like nobody ever called them out for this, for like, big time free agents. It was like Peyton Manning, DeMarcus Ware, TJ Ward, Aqib Talib, like, Wes Welker, like they drafted Von Miller. Ooh, that was really difficult. You know what I mean? And so they've had to kind of be in the mud, and they're not used to that. And so I don't, exonerate Russ, but like that was a tough kind of thing to resuscitate, and they got real mad. The Steelers are a very different fan base. Steelers have fans that understand that there's a lot of work required. And so going to Pittsburgh, I think, is a good thing for Russ in terms of humility that is clearly involved. Now we're not off on the right foot with the video he shared last night. He's already kind of back to, branded Russell mode. But if there is a coach in the NFL seemingly capable of, kind of putting cut that out on that, it's
I think it's one of those situations where Russell needs to prove that he can be coached.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And there's nobody that's going to coach you more than Mike Tomlin, both on and off the court or field. And I think that video thing will be the last time we see that.
I also think, while we're talking about Mike Tomlin, an important cog for Russ in Pittsburgh is Arthur Smith, the new offensive coordinator.
Very true. Very true.
So Russ, like a lot of quarterbacks, had a lot of success off of play action last year. Arthur Smith's offenses in Atlanta. Arthur Smith's offense is a very difficult thing to say, by the way. Arthur Smith's offenses. But Arthur Smith's offenses in Atlanta used play action the second most of any teams in the NFL. So you're talking about somebody who likes to lean into something that Russ does very, very, very well. And I don't know that I think that the Steelers are a quarterback away. Like that their roster doesn't like George Pickens is really good.
Yeah.
And Deontay Johnson's really good. But like, sometimes like you looked at the Jets last year and it really did feel like, man, they got some dudes. And I don't know that I feel that way about Pittsburgh. Plus, like, are they better than Cincinnati? Are they better than Baltimore? Are they better than Cleveland? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I agree with you. Their team isn't better. This is just a better situation for Russell. Because, I still think that for whatever reason, Tomlin's kind of down with Pickett. I don't know why. I think he feels like he's
what do you mean you don't know why? He's so bad.
I don't know why he's still down with Pickett, though. I still think
you're saying he's still down?
Down with him. I think he wants Pickett to eventually be a star or see something. Remember the story about Pickett. He played there at Pittsburgh, and the university and the Steelers share a training facility. So I get the feeling that Tomlin's watched this guy grow up and feels like personally responsible for the growth of Pickett because they're saying it's going to be a competition. And certainly you don't think Russell's going any place where he's not going to be a starter. But I get the sense that they want Russell to rehab his image and at the very best be the starter, but at least push Pickett.
This is one of those things where like the whole world understands what you're doing or dealing with except for you. And so like I was reading Brooke Pryor's story about this at ESPN, and I mean she knows more about the Steelers than anybody, but she was presenting it kind of the way you were, like, oh, this is kind of shocking because they've been so publicly supportive of right. Kenny Pickett. And I mean, I'm an outsider on this, but it's like, how is this shocking? Like to anyone who's watched Kenny Pickett play football in the NFL, do you know how many we were talking about this last week at SB Nation. Do you know how many touchdown passes Kenny Pickett has thrown in the NFL? He's played 2 seasons in the NFL.
If there's 10, I agree. 10, 8.
It's not quite that few, but it's.
But more importantly, what's the ratio to interceptions to touchdowns? I mean, it's not pretty.
In 2 seasons, he has thrown 13 touchdowns and 13 interceptions.
See, that's just horrific. It's little hands. Remember tiny hands?
You think that's bad? Now, last season was bad for the Broncos, but it wasn't what 2 seasons ago was. 2 seasons ago was the true disaster.
Hackett year.
Right. And last year was just bad, but because it wasn't great, it didn't provide enough balance in the force. So that being said, if we look at the 2022 Broncos, the Hackett year, in that year, Russ was awful. I mean, like awful, awful, awful. And even in that year, threw 16 touchdowns. So in that awful, awful, awful year, threw more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett has in 2 full seasons without, Nathaniel Hackett weighing him down. I mean, again, the idea that this is any kind of close competition is silly and is just placating. Like if actually, while Russ is Mr. Corporate Brando dude, if anybody is being coddled or protected or whatever now, it's Kenny Pickett.
Absolutely. I will say this, and I qualify everything that we just talked about. I'm a huge Russell fan.
He's a great dude. Great person.
Well, I do think he is a good person. I think this corporate, branding stuff is out of hand. And I think that Seattle let it go too far. They did. But I think this guy, as much as anybody, can win a game on his own.
I don't know if I agree with
One
that
time,
anymore.
it's the Toby Keith song. Is that who was saying it? Like, ain't as good as he once was, but one time he's as good as he ever was. I'm telling you, 2 minutes to go. With an offense that's functioning. I'm talking about, Russell's not running for his life, and he's got proper tools, not the best, but proper. I would put the ball in his hands as there's only a couple other quarterbacks that would give it to over Russ. Even now.
While we're taking a look around the NFL, because I don't want to tell you how wrong that is, because I love you too much. This is an interesting little twist. Courtney Cronin of ESPN reports that the Chicago Bears are shifting their quest to build a new dome stadium away from Arlington Heights and plan to invest $2 billion to fund a new publicly owned lakefront stadium.
Publicly owned?
Yeah.
Well, so they're willing to fund as much as they have to until the public pays for the rest. We all knew Arlington Heights was a bluff. They weren't going to leave downtown. They're going to stay right there on the lake where they need to be. In a dome stadium, I think we're all for it. I got a question for you as we go to break. This weekend was the end of the basketball regular season, and we're always treated to the Duke, North Carolina game.
Right.
And that is, according to Jay Billis, it is the best rivalry, not only in college basketball, but in all of sports. But I put it to you. If right now, today, if I offered you one of 3 games, what would you watch? Would it be Duke, North Carolina? What about South Carolina, LSU? Or Iowa versus anybody?
You're talking about in our current moment.
In this current moment, the best rivalry, no longer on the men's side, I don't think.
South Carolina, LSU had a different turn.
Let's talk about what we saw this weekend as they closed down the regular season. Kim Mulkey dressed like Elvis, and the team came ready to fight. We're going to talk about South Carolina, LSU, what we saw over the weekend as we begin conference tournament week. We got games for you all week long, live right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let's talk some college basketball next. This is the Morning Huddle. I do want to talk to you real quickly. I'm going to do it real quick about the Institute for Functional Health. I got up this morning. I stood on the scale. I'm the lightest I have been since I can recall. I don't remember the last time I was down under 230 pounds. See, I started going to Dr. Jacob Torres and the Institute for Functional Health about 6 years ago. Oh, no, now we're over right at 7. I walked in the doors back then, 300 pounds. This has been a process. And Dr. Torres will tell you this. He is not going to put you on some sort of quick weight loss fad diet that drops the pounds but doesn't give you any future because they're all coming back. What he's going to do is put you on a program that you can live with for the rest of your life. It involves your basics. There is no witchcraft or hokum to losing weight. It is fewer calories coming in than you're burning at the end of the day. Now, there's underlying processes to everybody. You might be dealing with something that's keeping you from losing weight. Let Dr. Torres attack that, take care of it while you endeavor to lose the weight. What I'm getting at is there's no better place to lose weight, and that is the Institute for Functional Health. Call them today, find out what I know, and maybe you'll get on a road to where you'll be with me and feel better at 57 than you did at 53. Consider that. Call them today. Go to the website, iffhealth.com. It will change your life. Consider the idea of going into the summer in a full bathing suit body. You can absolutely achieve it, but you got to get the ball rolling. And the way you do is talk to Dr. Torres and let him explain to you why you can get it done. The number is 210-468-1891. Call it today. Thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Ulta Beauty's semi-annual beauty event is happening now. Unleash your love for beauty with 50% off daily beauty steals on hair, skin, makeup, and fragrance. Shop your favorite brands like Tarte and Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. Plus, grab perfect hair care pairs from brands like Redken and Olaplex. And check out new arrivals from brands like Charlotte Tilbury and Dyson. Shop the Ulta Beauty semi-annual beauty event online, in-store, or try pickup today. Now through March 28th. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply.
Do you want the most money for your used car and a hassle-free process? Give me the VIN. We'll beat your written CarMax offer or write you a check for $100. It's that simple. Give me the VIN is fast, easy, reliable, and pays top dollar for your car. It's that simple. Give me the VIN is A+ rated by the BBB. Get an instant cash offer and the most money for your used car right now at GiveMeTheVIN.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagle. You know, now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail. Who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year? Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
At BetUS.com, why do we care about a college basketball tournament every March? Where bets mean everything? Because it's March Mania, where glory triumphs and anything can happen. Where underdogs can make or break our hearts. Because it's March Mania, where brackets are broken and buzzers are beaten. And there's always been a sportsbook there for you and your best buds. Because it's March Mania. BetUS has been with you through 30 marches together. And like any good six-man, we've always had your back. And because it's March, BetUS.com is matching the mania with a mad offer. Back to back 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And the extra confidence that comes from a 10% gambler's insurance. Because anything can happen during March Mania. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins. Get started today.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. Did you know your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s? So if you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Book your appointment now. Go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
This is Jason Minix, and you're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars. Congratulations, you started your week out correctly. The choice is obvious. You are, in fact, a winner. Prove it. Go and watch us live and like and subscribe and share as appropriate. Tell a friend. We like that kind of stuff. To prove our love for you, we got a golf tournament coming up that we want you to come play with us. Great deal. We're going to have a shotgun start. We'll feed you. We'll drink you. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Post party. We'll be playing at the Golf Club of Texas. I want to thank Flight by Yingling and Insira for helping us get there. There will be a post party as well, RJ.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We do this right, and we're going to make sure it's real close. As soon as I can find the appropriate stuff, I'm going to tell you this hour. We're coming up talking some Spurs just around the corner. I put it to you that I would tune in to LSU South Carolina above just about any other college basketball game and a lot of college football games. This Mulkey team that plays with an edge and Don Staley's team that plays with an edge, I think we got to do something kind of like Troy, where those two can just fight. Let's let those two just play one-on-one. But they both have to wear the clothes that they wore to coach in.
That keep everybody's family members off the court.
Everybody. Brothers, sisters, don't get on the court.
Seriously. That's my only rule. It seems pretty fair, you know?
I'm actually being facetious. Come on, ladies. That got a little weird.
No, I mean, a brother jumping on.
I agree.
Let your sister do her job.
Hey, the Spurs did something without Wemby they've never done before.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the NBA playoffs.
Down the middle of the lane, takes it right to the rim and flushes.
KTFM Floresville.
The LaTappe Texas cycling races are back in San Antonio, April 12th to the 14th. Cyclists of all ages, register now to ride in the 100, 60, or 25-mile Tour de France amateur cycling events. You can run, walk, cycle, and celebrate all things Fitness Fiesta at the Athletes Village and Expo. LaTappe, Texas. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Presented in part by Thomas J. Henry.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
When a cold keeps you up, try NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. The nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste to give your body the rest it needs to get that cold gone. Wake up refreshed, feeling relieved after enjoying the delicious flavor of NyQuil Severe Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor, use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with my Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers and earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our new loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. To have payment plans, call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants.
I had missing teeth, I had crowns, I had partials.
There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning to see my teeth in a container.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz in Las Vegas, Thursday, March 28th at Circa Resort and Casino in downtown Las Vegas to celebrate the start of the season with the ceremonial first pitch by Hall of Famer Greg Maddux. Catch all the games on the Circa Las Vegas 78 million pixel screen while you feast on Coney Dogs by American Coney Dog, complimentary apple pie, and more. And oh yeah, moms, drink free. Don't miss the first day of baseball at Circa Resort and Casino. Visit circalasvegas.com for more information. Book your trip now, circalasvegas.com.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, Russell Wilson, former Denver Bronco quarterback, was not unemployed long. The Pittsburgh Steelers are signing him to a 1-year veteran minimum deal for a little over $1 million. The Dallas Cowboys have allowed wide receiver Michael Gallup to seek a trade if they don't release him before March the 17th.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembenyama free. Good! Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembenyama. Drive. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembenyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. Thanks for joining us this morning. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you where you're going. Hey, we're sorry about that lost hour, but as Rudy on our Brigade Bar pointed out earlier, we lost an hour, but we gained a day. Enjoy it today, and go get your caffeine as fast as you can. We're all minus an hour. We'll muddle through together. We'll keep you moving. We'll get there. We do it every day at 7. We're talking silver and black, and man, it's a good Monday to talk some silver and black as the Spurs over the last several weeks have begun to show a little bit of promise, a little bit of an uptick, a little bit of that light at the end of the tunnel might indeed be the sun and not a train coming at us. As the Spurs went into the Chase Center, that palace there in the Bay Area, and spanked the Golden State Warriors there on Saturday night. No Steph Curry on their end, but we went in without Wemby and Devin, and from front to back, beginning to end, Spurs controlled it. Can they do it again tonight?
I don't know how you can say it's impossible that they can't tonight.
They better.
I mean, if it would be very funny if they lost with Wemby. You know what I mean?
Well, it'd be typical of a rookie team because let's give flowers to what we saw on Saturday night. But there's a greater thing in play going on with the Spurs. And as we've seen an uptick in play as they've improved, they should have beaten Sacramento, Malachi Brenham. That, very rarely do you go, a guy lost a game. Normally you can go, well, a lot of things come up to a loss. No, Malachi, you lost that game. The coach will tell you is one thing, and if we'd have hit a free throw here or there, and if we'd executed at that one timeout that we blew it, we would have been ahead, and it wouldn't have been a problem. No, Malachi, lazy pass toward your own basket, you lose a basketball game, that's your fault. That's on you, and that's fine. We're chasing draft picks and ping pong balls, but over the last several weeks since the All-Star break, the Spurs are playing winning basketball. That doesn't mean they're winning games, but they're playing winning basketball. And I think the stat that exemplifies that, I find utterly astounding, is their three-point shooting, RJ.
Shout out to Matt Tynan, who unearthed this tweet to begin with on Saturday night. Entering the All-Star break, the Spurs are the worst three-point shooting team in the world.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not great. But on the other side of the All-Star break, they are the best three-point shooting team in the world, seemingly. 42.9% from three, so just a hair shy of 43% flat. Boston is second at 41.8. Actually, they're tied for second with New Orleans. They have fewer wins than anybody in the top, basically everything for three-point shooting, because they don't have a lot of wins in general. But the three ball has started to come into play. Wemby's a big part of that, obviously, because this is a percentage-based statistic. Didn't play on Saturday night, but, it hasn't played in a minute. But this is impressive. They are finding a way to make themselves relevant. And the fact that, let's be honest, they had no business beating Sacramento or Golden State, and they damn near did both. The fact that the three ball is landing is helping them. It is the rising tide that is lifting all of their boats at the moment.
What do they say? It's a make or miss league.
Mm-hmm.
It's a make or miss
because
league.
You either make it or miss it.
Right. If you make it, you win, and if you miss, you lose. I don't care how good your defense is. If you miss shots, you're going to lose games. And the Spurs have been a terrible shooting team. And the irony of all this, and Tynan pointed it out, was the secret to getting better shooting is to cut your best shooter. It's to let Dougie McBuckets go, and suddenly, he was holding us back. I think we were focused too much on one subject. But with his exit, we see. I think we're seeing what Pop envisioned. This inverted offense with Wemby being the first option down the court with that three. If he's left alone, he's the first option. If he's not bringing the ball up and he's not first down court, they're getting him the ball at the top of the key. You're getting him the ball up at the top. Either they're going to pick and pop or they're going to do something, but he's always there and he's hitting those shots. And when he's doing that, everything else opens. So that's one thing to talk about, but that had nothing to do with Saturday night because he wasn't even there. Saturday night, it was an execution win. That was a coach's win. That's one of those things where Pop went to bed like, I won that game.
Some of it is it's a weird game for Golden State too, right? No Steph, and I know the Brigade Bar's kind of chatting about that, like how real it is.
It mattered, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely mattered.
That's not like a kid.
But you're right. And I think it's representative that in our current moment, and certainly all time, Pop is better at making lemonade with lemons than Steve Kerr is. And that's not the easiest thing to do, and I don't think Steve Kerr's bad at it. But it's a bit of a hiccup what's happening right now for Golden State, and especially as our friends at Pounding the Rock had a great intro to their game preview for tonight's game. It was beautiful. If you allow me to read it,
I would love.
Epic of a
Who
voice.
wrote it, by the way? Let's give some credit.
This was Devin Birdsong.
Okay,
here we go. It's a truth universally acknowledged that there's no such thing as the graceful death of a dynasty. And I don't think that enough people recognize that. But he added, the Romans ripped theirs in half and got trampled by the Visigoths. Is that correct pronunciation?
By the what?
By the Visigoths?
By Vesuvius?
No. This is Visigoths. That's how it's spelled. Anyway, the New York Visigoths.
Visigoths.
Visigoth. Okay, thank you. I'm not a Roman history.
Well,
the New York Yankees lost to a historically hapless Red Sox franchise in the most embarrassing manner imaginable. Napoleon, arguably the greatest military strategist in history, took 500,000 plus casualties invading Russia in the winter
Average
and was later
movie.
exiled to a remote island. The Detroit Pistons refused to shake Michael Jordan's hand. And he goes on to talk about how, it's never pretty when the dynasty dies. And we know that. The Spurs know that, right? And the Warriors are kind of learning that. And there was the kind of like transfer of power in that sense from Pop to Steve Kerr. Like, good luck, man. This is tough.
This sucks.
Yeah. And so you could kind of feel that, I feel like, on Saturday night, and certainly again coming into tonight, where it's like we're closer to the other side. I don't think we're out the tunnel yet, but everybody goes through this. I mean, when you can only be all time because everything else is not, if that makes sense.
You have to be. And watching the decline while watching the Spurs with essentially, let's be real, a G League team.
Yeah.
Rolling out and just out executing them. Of all the guys that I've been impressed with this year, Malachi's been up and down, and I'll continue to hammer you. It ain't the end of the world, but you lost a game, dude. And
he would have had a all-time game on Thursday.
Oh, I know.
He just hadn't had. It's a shame what one moment did for him.
It really was. And he played again. He played well on Saturday, and so did Blake. I mean, of the young guys that I have seen that I enjoy, I think Dominic Barlow might have the highest ceiling. As good as we've seen Blake, kind of grow into his own. And, I'm looking for comparisons, but he's an energy guy, and he's starting to understand that energy requires a little bit of diligence and control at the same time. And as he learns that, he's become a much better guard. Malachi, hey, man, you're an NBA player. I'm not sure if you're going to be an NBA player with the Spurs, but you have a future in the league. You're going to be in the league as long as you want to be. But of the guys that I look at for the future, to go, this guy could really have something. It's Barlow.
I'm not there yet.
I'm not saying immediate, but he is more athletic than Bassey. And we saw Bassey last year and went, well, of all the things that were awful about this year, and this was even before we had gotten Wemby, of all the things that were terrible about last year, Bassey was a bit of a, oh my goodness, thanks, Philly. They handed us an NBA player for literally nothing. And I think Barlow is going to end up being the guy that will actually stick on this team, because I can envision a team, if they decide not to go big, where Barlow is the other big, because he's got the athleticism to do some things that are kind of out of Pop's normal purview of a big, the down low pivot post guy, where Barlow's more of a high pick and roll rim runner, rim protector type. A different style of big than Pop has been utilizing in the past. But, man, I like the way the Spurs look when he's out there. And I can't wait to watch both Wemby and Barlow play together, because I get the sense they might be able to play together and not just have him back up Wemby, but play a different position. Wemby's a 3.5. He's not a 3. He's not a 4. He's a 3.5. So you either got to fill in on those other gaps. What I'm getting at is, man, when I see the Spurs hitting threes and I see another athletic, bouncy big out there, that's kind of where you see the Spurs going.
30 minutes for Barlow, 7 of 10, 0 for 1 from 3, though. I mean,
I don't want him taking that. You're screwing up the percentages, Derek. Stop it.
That's what I'm saying. Just chill out. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 19 points, +4, ±. I mean, this is a solid night's work.
It was.
And I mean, again, I'm not quite there, but you're right. There's something that's worth exploring. Something, I think, for so much of this season, we've said, like, get rid of everyone except for Devin, right? Like, there's some players earning some future keep around here. You know what I mean? And Barlow might be one of them. I think, one Spur bats their eyes at you, and you're willing to kind of,
Well, I am. I'm not going to kid. I am a desperate. It's in my parlance, it's about 1:15 at night.
Wow.
The lights aren't on yet, but it's time to.
I don't know if you chose that song on purpose, but that's a very popular song. It's 1:15.
I did it just so you'd sing.
That's literally the song. It's literally the song lyric.
Now, I will say this:
I'm all alone and I need you now. That's who you are.
That's
You're
me.
Yeah.
What's the real band name? Oh, we can't say that.
I don't think you can say it, but Lady A is their new name. So.
Tommy Pratt on a brigade bar. I'd like to see Mamu get more playing time. I thought he played really good and he has. The thing that Mamu brings is just reckless abandon. The dude has enough skill to kind of justify being on the court, but he's kind of like a puppy dog. A little, you know what I mean? He goes. He's at 100%, and he's got athleticism that is surprising to me. I mean, every time he does things, you're like, man, that dude got a little bit more in him than I thought.
I don't want to be.
He's Big East Player of the Year. I'd forgotten about that.
But this is, I would caution against moments like this because don't fall in love. You know what I mean? Right away. This was fun. We all had a great time. We all talked about it with our friends on Sunday. It was great. But don't miss the forest through the trees. I'm saying?
No, you're right. But I'll tell you, if there's ever been a time to be optimistic, it's right now. Because over the next month, they've got like 8 home games. And, I guess we'll count Austin as a home game. But they play a lot. And it's not
Spurs
like home cooking has been great for the Spurs. But, we put up with them being on the road for a long time. I think they're going to kind of slide into a rhythm. I think they're going to come in and we're going to see some pretty decent basketball because this Wemby rolled ankle thing, that was a bit of a farce. I mean, he's not even on any kind of injured list. He's going to play tonight. He was tired. That's what it was. And
and he's getting close to 65 games.
And we're getting close to that. But I do think that this is going to be that final push run because once he hits that 65, we're going to start having the debate, and we're not there yet. But, once he gets to 65, he will have achieved Rookie of the Year. I think that's a foregone. And he'll be on one of the 3 defensive teams, all defensive teams, first, second, or third team. It'll probably be first team, if not defensive player of the year. So I think records will have been achieved. The season will have been, kind of put through the prism, and we're going to put him to bed. I don't see Wemby playing out this whole year. I think as soon as he gets to the 65 and we find some numbers that are appropriate, we're going to put him to bed. So I think this next month, with a bunch of home games, is the home stretch. Not just for the team, but for Wemby's season.
I think you're right. So Rookie of the Year, by the way, the odds are laughable.
Yeah, it's over.
He's minus 5,000. Chet is plus 1,600. Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy's making a lot of news, by the way.
He is. Good and bad.
Yeah. But he's minus 900. Wemby is plus 900. I'm with you. So there's an 8-game homestand, air quotes necessary, coming up. And it finishes with back-to-back games against the Suns on a Saturday and a Monday.
And what's that? What's the date on that?
Well, by the way, that's the weekend preceding the golf tournament, the Suns games. So the first Suns game is Saturday, March 23rd. Yours truly will be in attendance. And the second Suns game is the night of the golf tournament, Monday, March 25th. But I'm with you. I think that's kind of the
Are we going to go to the game that night or no? We're just going to go to the game prior.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
But I think this is the last run of good Wemby play. You know what I'm saying? Like heavy Wemby play.
So enjoy it because this team is playing as good as they have in the last year and a half. I would say the last week, this team has played as well as they have in the last 3 years. Now, they've had individual games far better. And there are some losses in what I'm talking about. But you said it, and I think that the stats are going to bear that out. They're leading the league in three-point percentage right now, and that has led to very competitive basketball. And you make shots, suddenly that hides the mistakes. You make shots, and those stupid turnovers, which the Spurs still can't get rid of, they're not quite as painful.
This is the moment. This is the stretch. This is either the lull into obscurity for next year, or this is the beginning. This is the foundation. These are the first bricks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is the point we either point to and say that's when they figured out who they were, then they got help they needed, and everything clicked. Or this is when we look back and say, wow, we let that March run blind us to the truth.
They're just god awful. The stretch is going to matter, and I do think it's going to end up, I think they're going to end strong and then kind of punt away and see how many ping pong balls we can put in the bucket as we close things out. You ready? I expect the next couple of days to be Dallas Cowboy world. I do because they're going to sit and watch a whole bunch of stuff happen, and we're going to be really, really mad at it.
Get your you get ready to do the like 1 foot on the wall. Like you're not leaning on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like you put 1 foot up against it, like you're doing the cool lean.
Yeah.
Get comfy. We're about to do that.
Because we're going to settle in for what is the free agents' legal tampering period.
If it's legal, it's not tampering. I mean, like this is.
It's like they want us to think something deceitful's going on. Like they want us to think that there's something like afoot that we should really be paying attention to. They're legally tampering over there.
They're trying to hit an edge. Yeah.
We're going to talk about the league that is going to get busy today. As the tampering period begins, there were signings over the weekend, and Russell has found a new home. He's going to wear a helmet with a logo only on one side. That's about right. We're talking football next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Ancira Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
March is National Nutrition Month. Metro Health invites you to go beyond the table to celebrate food and its role in health and wellness. Whether we eat around a dinner table, on the go, or at a restaurant, choosing what we eat is important. Stay nourished on any budget. Metro Health offers information and resources to help you and your family savor your health. For tips, recipes, and much more, visit sa.gov/health. Eat well, feel great.
It's time, basketball bettors. It's March Mania. I'm Rob Thompson here to tell you about BetUS.com. Over the years, I've endorsed only one sportsbook and casino, and that's been BetUS.com for years. They've been driving to the basket for 30 years, and I've been a part of it. And this year, BetUS has got an epic three-pointer going for you. 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambling insurance. It's epic. Get started by visiting BetUS.com or give them a call at 1-800-MY-BET-US. BetUS, it's where the game begins.
Hey guys, Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Do you have a lack of energy, motivation, possibly low libido? These symptoms could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, their medical providers exclusively specialize in customized testosterone treatment, and they make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you get your results back at your first visit. Book your appointment now. Go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I am James, Senior Apparel Designer, and this is Behind the Design with Hawks. Hawks is your classic workwear brand. It's designed for those guys that are on the job site. Just driven performance, just rugged and comfortable. Thinking of durability, everything is either double, triple stitched, bar tacked. It's build durable. It's going to perform. It's going to move with you. It's going to have everything that you need in a product. Hawks, only at Boot Barn.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Hi, I'm Jade, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the savoriness of the sausage, the fluffiness of the egg, and the butteriness of the biscuit. the perfect start to my day.
Hi, everyone. It's Justin. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the fluffy egg, the melted cheese, and the sizzling sausage. It's the start to your morning that you didn't know you need.
Order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and Simply Orange juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, and move again, pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get to Twin Peaks for their beer-battered fish and chips. This beer-battered cod is served with house-made tartar, malt vinegar, and french fries, and score them along with a 22-ounce Miller Lite or Coors Light for just $12. That's every Friday through Easter. Twin Peaks!
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. It is finally here. Legal tampering. That's what the NFL calls it. You start talking to free agents. What are the latest rumors, and will the Cowboys somehow do something? We'll have the latest on that. Plus, the Spurs are back home. They're going to take on the Golden State Warriors tonight. Will Wemby be back in action? We'll have the latest for you on Game Night San Antonio. Hey, RJ. Man, I can't wait for those Cowboy rumors to start.
Thanks, Joe. Blitz will get going today at 2, as they always do. Don't forget, those guys are going to Vegas. They're going to be there for the Sweet 16. They're going to be at the Cirque. And that's also opening weekend for Major League Baseball. The Cirque is going to play host to kind of a Radio Row there for the Sweet 16. It's worthy of going. And I have a code for you guys. Let me find this thing. I want to make sure all those that want to go, like me, have the opportunity to go. They're going to be flying out, broadcasting live Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And if you want a 20% discount to the Circa, let me get you exactly what you need to do.
Is the code Rob is cool?
I want you to use. I want you to. It actually is. I want you to go to circalasvegas.com, and when you go to booking, I want you to use the code Minix20.
So almost Rob is cool. It's basically Jason.
Minix 20 is almost Rob. And if you use that, there's 20% off what are already great weights at the Cirque. And if you haven't been to Vegas for any of the tournament, it's going to be extraordinary. Remember that a lot of the stuff that we'd like to do, we can't do here in Texas, and you can do that stuff there in Las Vegas, just to let you know.
Wow.
The boys are going to be out there. Go. It's going to be awesome. Spend some time in the pool. It'll be heated. I'm not sure how they heat it, but it seems to always be warm.
Okay. Okay.
I just bring that up. I always felt that was never like getting in Las Vegas pools.
It's a personal decision.
Russell's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, and that's going to be the news that starts what's going to be a busy week. Think about what the legal tampering period will mean this week. Never in the history of the NFL has there been more NFL running back meat on the hoof available than there will be this week. Prime beef.
Your proposition is to spin big on one piece.
I'm
even
just
though the
saying.
market's got all sorts of options.
I find it very, very interesting to watch this because, I fashion myself an economist. I look at the forces that not a real one, but when I look at goods that have value, And you look at how can you profit on a valuable thing? You can either buy it and sell it for more. You can buy it and break it up into smaller pieces. You can buy it low and use it for more than it was worth and then trade up.
That's the goal here.
Right. But when I look at 6 running backs, and maybe even 7, that can help a team, I mean, legit show up and make a difference, somebody out there is going to overpay.
Somebody's going to overpay. For somebody like Saquon, who predictably is being connected to Philadelphia and Dallas.
Or Baltimore, too.
I would be shocked if he winds up in any of those places, because the team that is going to overpay for Saquon has a necessary prerequisite, and it is a quarterback on a rookie contract, because those teams are in position to overpay.
So how can Baltimore be in consideration here?
They're not. I don't
keep
think
seeing their name.
Of course you do. I mean, it pays to connect yourself to playoff contenders and big-time teams and the MVP of the NFL, the 2-time MVP, obviously the reigning one. But I think that Baltimore, Philly, Dallas could wind up with one of these running backs, but I think it's probably a low-value deal. I wouldn't be shocked if DeAndre Swift ultimately makes his way back to Philadelphia. I think the most likely return is probably Tony Pollard to Dallas if things shake out the right way.
Why is that? Explain to me why Tony Pollard, for the same amount of money, and that's what it would be, I would assume, a Saquon or Derrick Henry or Josh. Why is Tony Pollard the Cowboys' best option here?
Well, I think he's a better option than somebody like Saquon, and that he's going to be significantly cheaper.
Will he?
I mean, you're talking. Well, a lot of people believe that Saquon's going to get something like $10 million a year.
Okay.
And
where would
Tony,
I like
Tony could
Pollard.
ultimately.
I do.
Okay. Well,
but put him in the list of available backs, rank them, and where does Pollard fall?
But it's not just about that. I mean, because say Saquon goes for $10 million a year, Pollard might go for $5 million a year.
But if I can get Derrick at 5 or Josh Jacobs at 5, or
I don't think you can. I mean, the same Josh Jacobs who held out last year, you know what I mean? He's looking to get paid. And I would be completely fine with Derrick Henry. I mean, but I don't think you can get him for $5 million a year. That's what I'm saying.
Well, everybody's saying the value. You got 7 backs, so if they're all going to sign for $8 million, then the market isn't depressed, but by a couple of million.
I don't think that they are all going to sign for $8 million. I don't think Austin Eckler's going to get $8 million. I don't think Tony Pollard's going to get $8 million. I don't think Devin Singletary or DeAndre Swift are going to get $8 million.
Okay, what about those guys for the Cowboys?
I'm fine with them. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
You're not all in on Pollard. You're just saying he's the best value.
Look, Tony Pollard gave me a pillow, so we're bros.
Well, see, that's where I was going. but I'm just, why are we telling me that Tony Pollard seems to be the best option for the Cowboys when I got 8 backs that I would say Pollard is probably in like the 6th in this listing of backs, but there's backs there that can do one thing that Pollard couldn't do that I think we need more than anything else, and that's move the pile.
We happen to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys, which happens to be Tony Pollard's team. But that aside, I do believe that Pollard is the best buy low candidate.
Okay.
I mean, and I think a lot of people around the NFL believe that. We've talked many times about how he told us he didn't feel like himself until the Panthers game in Week 11. From that point on through the wild card round, he was the best rusher in the NFL according to PFF's grading system. And so in that sense, like, if you are going to throw $5 million, if you are trying to kind of, buy a rather expensive one, but a lotto ticket nonetheless, Tony Pollard kind of lines up logically in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, cool. So that's why I would lean Pollard over Austin Eckler or Devin Singletary or DeAndre Swift for that reason.
What about, I'm with you. There's other stuff I want to cover.
You can convince me that Henry is worth it if the difference financially is marginal, that Saquon is worth a conversation if the difference financially is marginal. I just don't expect those to be the case.
Okay, because I feel like if I can get Pollard at 4, but I can get Jacobs at 6, I'm still $4 million ahead of the game that I was last year. I just, you can see I'm hitting the same vein again. I can't imagine the Cowboys sitting there and watching this go by when there's such a bargain to be had. Even if I have to pay just a little bit more than Pollard, I would like to think they figured in, here's what I'm going to spend on my number 1 running back next year, and it's going to be X, 4 million, 5 million. And if I can go, why would I talk to Pollard again when I know there's a deficit? He didn't do one thing that I had to have, and I know he was off for about half the season and all that. But if I can go get a dude like Josh Jacobs for a couple $1 million more, or a DeAndre Swift, or whatever the case might be, I'm doing that.
So the problem, Rob, is you are too micro-focused here on your obsession with Saquon Barkley.
Not Barkley. No, I'm looking for a guy that I can get 3 yards, even if he gets hit in the backfield, kind of running back.
That doesn't exist. And
there's two of them there.
They're not.
Derek and Jacobs are two of the dudes that I'm talking about.
If they were two dudes like that, are the Titans and Raiders letting them walk? No. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they're not those guys anymore. I mean, they're still qualified, capable players, but they're not difference makers the way you believe. But beyond that, the bigger picture as it relates to the Cowboys is we're looking at a world, at least with the legal tampering window now 3 hours and change away, from them needing a starting left tackle or a starting left guard if they kick Tyler Smith out, a starting center if Tyler Biadasz leaves. And by the way, if you're curious what the center market looks like, 12 minutes ago, the Jacksonville Jaguars agreed to terms with Mitch Morse, who the Buffalo Bills cut, on a 2-year, $10.5 million deal with $7 million guaranteed.
And
so
Carolina kids.
So now you're talking $5 million for a center. So you need one of those. In the corner, if Stephon Gilmore doesn't come back, you probably need help at wide receiver. So and you only have one first-round pick to spend on these things. So as you can see, it gets rather expensive really quickly here. So the $2 million that we're quibbling over as it relates to running back is kind of a big deal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so while in a perfect world, I would love to sit here and be like, you know what, man, it's a little bit extra, but we'll totally use it. We will definitely use the surround sound on the TV that we need. But right now, we're just trying to put a roof over our heads. We're not focused on entertainment. I mean, the Cowboys are in such dire straits. Their roster is so easily going to be worse come week 1 than it was obviously the last time we saw them.
Goldfinger 123 on our brigade bar. Austin Eckler's overrated. Barkley is injury prone. Henry has no tread on those tires, and Swift is trash. And Jacobs a hit or miss. I think you might have summed it all up, and I do like the very end though. I think Jacobs is a hit. I think given the right opportunity, there's some tread on that tire. Let's stay with the Cowboys real quick. Michael Gallup has given permission to seek a trade, and March 17th might be the end of his career. What does that tell you about the draft and where the Cowboys looking to fill that?
Well, saying that you have given a player permission to seek a trade is the most,
every player has
correct
permission.
way of saying we're about to cut you. I will let you know how the sausage gets made. I have a pre-write for the Cowboys.
It's like an obit that you've had planned for when it happens. Yeah. I'm with you.
And it was just, I mean, I don't want to go too into the weeds here, but they bet on him, and I feel badly because I really like Michael Gallup. He's a great human being.
He's a high point receiver
and he was a great player, but they bet on him after he tore his ACL, and the reason they did was because it provided them an opportunity to pay low. They were able to get pennies on the dollar because he was coming off the ACL, and so they figured, oh man, we're geniuses here. We're gonna wind up really on the plus side of this, and he just never returned to form that player. And poor Michael Gallup, he obviously, although he got paid, he got kind of lumped. It's worth mentioning, by the way, and I included this, and this isn't out yet, obviously, but Michael Gallup has experienced a tumultuous run in the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver room. He joined the group 2 weeks after they cut Dez Bryant.
Right.
He was there for the famed wide receiver by committee approach that blew up in their face. He was on the team when they traded for Amari Cooper. He was on the team when CeeDee Lamb fell to them in the draft. Then he obviously got his deal from them, and because of that, the team, felt confident enough in trading away Amari Cooper. So he kind of received a lot of the residual blame for that. I mean, so he has seen some things in his, kind of 5 years with the Dallas Cowboys, or 6 years, whatever it's been. And so I feel for him, but it just doesn't make sense to hold on to that contract any longer. Nobody is trading for that deal right now. He's going to be cut.
So
and they definitely need another wide receiver option, probably in the draft.
So you assume it'll be in the draft, and I bet there'll be some kind of old dude show up for training camp, a last minute receiver that we've all heard of that spent a time or two on a different couple of teams. But it is unfortunate because when we look at, and Gallup was a blip, but it just seemed like unfulfilled promise that the injuries would just always, the injuries and Dak seemed to always get in the way.
He represent what?
I think Dak lost, Dak plays favorites. He doesn't like it. You don't get the ball. I think a lot of quarterbacks are like that.
I completely disagree with that relative to Gallup because Go
Oh no!
rewatch the Seahawks.
When he was
game in
healthy, the dude
2020.
is the best high point receiver the Cowboys have had since Des.
He was this incredible deep threat.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have the rep that like Deshaun Jackson has or anything like that, but like he was this incredible deep threat for Dak Prescott, and he got hurt. I mean, that was just the matter of it all. But Gallup represents why you shouldn't pay a Michael Gallup, as ironic as that sounds. Pledge notes in the Brigade Bar. This wide receiver class is insanely deep. Do you know where they drafted Michael Gallup in 2018?
Oh, it was a middle round kind of thing. Colorado
It's
State.
a third round pick.
Yeah.
It's a third
round.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just throw third round picks you know what I mean? Just throw, although Jalen Tolbert was a third round pick, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say it's that easy and make an incredibly difficult process sound easy, but it really is that easy and that simple. Like, you should just be refueling, restocking. There are the occasional superstars that you pay, like CeeDee Lamb, but paying Michael Gallup was a mistake, and they learned that the hard way.
Cowboys got a little bit of addition by subtraction. Fletcher Cox waved goodbye over the weekend, and Cowboy fan is happy to see him say goodbye. Man, I am glad Fletcher Cox is finally retired. That dude could ball for a long time.
Him and Jason Kelsey, obviously, very recently, and you obviously can't call what the Eagles have been through a dynasty. Nobody, I don't think, is claiming that they are, but this is the most successful run in Philadelphia Eagles franchise history.
And they're losing
and
dudes
they were
right and
obviously
left.
they were a part of the Super Bowl team, and obviously the team that lost, but they are arguably the two cornerstones of that, era. And so that they're gone now, I wish them health, wealth, and happiness, and wonderful times with their families, and great memories, and incredible relaxation, success in the media, or podcasting, whatever they do. But thank God they're not on the football field anymore, because they were problems every single time.
Chris Jones got his bag. He played his cards right.
Although the Chris Jones thing is an example of, I don't know how much you paid attention to this, of how rigged the NFL insider game is. So
okay,
this got reported in the funniest way possible. Like, it was it is so clear this time of year that the insider tweets are copy paste text jobs from agents, right? Like,
yeah.
And now we're in an era where they actually shout out the agent. Well, they'll be like, as negotiated.
David Mulligetta.
Yeah, exactly. And so the Chris Jones was so like, he bet on himself, and he blah, like, and it had like all his statistical accolades from this past season. And it was like, dude, and they framed it to where he will be the highest paid defensive player in the year in certain metrics, but not in others. He'll be the highest paid defensive tackle, but not defensive lineman, because he still trails Nick Bosa. So it was just like the wonkiest way of flexing. And when you do that, like, I don't think people in general nowadays understand that the listening or viewing audience in whatever line of work you're in is much smarter than you think. And so nobody is reading the tweet and going, wow, like, what you really want. Chris Jones got paid life-changing money, and he earned it. There's no question about that. But he played his cards wrongly.
Really?
He played his cards wrongly last year, and it blew up in his face. The Chiefs won, and they won the Super Bowl. He was, they won relative to last year, and they had to pay him, and that's great. But they don't care now. They got him for cheaper than they would have last year if he played his cards correctly.
But his agent tells me he's the highest paid defensive guy in the world.
You can't even say that. That's why they have to say defensive tackle. And then the weird thing was how they used Donald as this like mount. They were like, he's going to be paying more than Aaron Donald. It was like, okay, but he's still not paying more than Nick Bosa. I mean, that's the team that they beat in the Super Bowl. I mean, by the way, the Niners are set to cut Eric Armstead. So the Chiefs paid their defensive tackle, but the Niners are saying goodbye. Also, on the Niners note, Brock Purdy got married over the weekend.
Did he really?
Yeah, I saw that floating around. Did you get him anything?
Well, I heard he has to like get a roommate just to afford San Francisco.
Yeah. If you got Brock Purdy a wedding gift, what would it be?
A panini maker.
I've seen, like, I feel like a gravy boat is a conventional wedding gift. I've never given anyone a gravy boat.
Are those still on? There was a time when I remember registering for a gravy boat, and I know exactly what our gravy boat looks like. Now, we've never actually used it. Oh, I think it gets rolled out like every third Thanksgiving. It's one of those kind of things. But no, a panini maker is also just about as useful as a gravy boat. I said that as a joke because I think when I got married, I got 5 of them.
Panini Maker's great, though. I mean, because if you commit to using it, that can change your life.
But, George Foreman can do it all. Why would you? I mean, it's just, you can make a panini with a George Foreman. You can fry bacon on a George Foreman. Can't fry bacon on a panini maker.
The same George Foreman that Pat McAfee on this radio station once confused for Floyd Mayweather.
Yes, he did. We have the audio to prove it. Hey, coming back, let's talk about the NBA. We are in the midst of another refereeing issue. Rudy Gobert continues to be the most prickly player in the NBA, paying a bit of a fine. Look around the league for what has been an extraordinary couple of days around there. Did you see the Lakers? You see Minneapolis? Hey, we got some playoff basketball around the corner, and it is turning around. More than just the Spurs, the NBA is kicking, and we're talking about it next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, it is the legal tampering period in the NFL. What in the world are the Cowboys going to do?
Yeah, probably nothing, but the NFL world will be rolling. We'll have the latest. Plus, Spurs and Warriors will Wemby play on Monday night. We'll have the latest on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Planning for spring at Lowe's means big savings on outdoor power equipment, and Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Buy one select Ego string trimmer, leaf blower, or mower kit. Get one select 56-volt battery free. That's up to a $299 value. Power through spring with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Kinetico uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Kinetico San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment, all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Kinetico in San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Kinetico quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on KineticoSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Kinetico.
San Antonio's Sports Star. You're riding with Rob and RJ. This is the Morning Huddle.
It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Spurs getting busy again tonight. Back home again. In fact, they're not going to really play an official road game for several weeks now. They got 8 home games coming, 2 of which are going to be in Austin. So I don't know what you're going to define that by. I just want to make sure they're wearing those dumb uniforms up there in Austin. Is that the only thing they packed while they went west?
It's I don't know. I was thinking about this. The logo might be worse. Like, the uniforms are awful. Don't get me wrong. But the logo that gets used on everything might be worse relative to where it's used.
By far. In fact, my wife doesn't watch a whole lot of Spurs games, but we were tuned in on Saturday night, and she was like, "Which one is us?"
Seriously, so I'm similar sort of boat here. My wife goes, "Did we get a new logo?" Like, that's exactly how it. Because the uniforms are kind of, to the naked eye, maybe don't necessarily catch your attention as much. Like, you're walking by, whatever. But the logo, when they kind of flash back from commercials, something like, what? Like, this is it. Like, it looks strange. I mean, especially because some teams have a dumb logo. Let's be straight up about this. I think the worst logos are like the Nuggets or the T-Wolves, where it's just like a circle and all the stuff is happening in it. But the Spur is awesome. And so why would you ditch that for this thing?
I will continue to question until we come up with something else dumb for next year's City Edition. Anybody who's a Aggie knows what Johnny Football was doing when he scored some touchdowns. It was that money sign, money, making it rain. Don't do that in the NBA, though. Rudy Gobert got fined $100,000 for directing inappropriate and unprofessional gesture towards a game official and publicly criticizing the officiating. It was announced yesterday by Joe Dumars, the executive president of basketball operation. It takes into account Gobert's past instances of conduct detrimental to the NBA, spreading COVID amongst his team and Donovan, and other very prickly gestures.
Crazy night in the NBA, in the world.
And we're coming up to about 4 years to the day here in the next week.
As it relates to this incident specifically, I'm shocked at this, but I'm kind of Team Rudy. I kind of am. Watching this game, I get the frustration. Now, I also live my life, and I've told you this before, about the purple pants rule. You can't break a rule. It's a rule. You can't commit a technical foul with under a minute to go. That's dumb.
Yes.
You're only going to hurt your team, and he did hurt his team here.
He did.
But I appreciate him speaking up. I'm not necessarily saying that accusing a ref of being on the take is a wise thing.
No, never.
But especially in the NBA. But I mean, I appreciate his authenticity, at least. I appreciate him being willing to push limits that others are not.
He is everything that he's very French. Let's just leave it there. That's enough.
Wow.
He's a very, 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 very French individual. You can take that for what it's worth, both good and bad. But he earned it. If another guy did it and said something, they probably wouldn't have got it as bad. But yeah, he got it.
You brought up your wife. Imagine being like, "Hey, I was fined $100,000." Like, what is that conversation like at home?
Yeah, baby. You know that trip we were taking at the end of the season. It's going to be South Padre or bust. We'll be kind of on the water, but not really. The Maldives are going to have to wait.
you were fined like what, like 10,000? You know, that's pretty. No, a C note.
A C note. As we come back, lots to look at in the NFL. The moves are coming fast and furious. We'll get you caught up with what's going on. And I want you to ponder this as we on the Monday after the Oscars. Who's going to win an Oscar first? Dwayne Johnson, Tom Cruise, or Mark Wahlberg? Who will get it first? Keep in mind, Nick has one. We're talking NFL next year on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
We pride ourselves in being America's best car buyer, bringing top dollar for your car with an online process that's fast and easy. But you might not know that we've got a special interest in buying your truck. Luxury haulers, workhorse diesels, or just your favorite pickup truck, we specialize in putting the right money on your truck for longer than anybody. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com today and get your check on the spot from America's best car and truck buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
Did you hear? Macy's one-day sale starts Tuesday. Refresh your wardrobe for spring with great deals on brands you know, like 40 to 60% off Anne Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, Style & Co. and more. And add your flair with 30 to 50% off shoes, handbags, and accessories. Plus, get 15 to 65% off home updates from Cuisinart, Lennox, and more. Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase, except gift card services and fees. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
It's time, basketball bettors. It's March Mania. I'm Rob Thompson here to tell you about BetUS.com. Over the years, I've endorsed only one sportsbook and casino, and that's been BetUS.com for years. They've been driving to the basket for 30 years, and I've been a part of it. And this year, BetUS has got an epic three-pointer going for you. 125% sign-up bonus on your first three deposits, plus 10% gambling insurance. It's epic. Get started by visiting BetUS.com or give them a call at 1-800-MY-BET-US. BetUS, it's where the game begins.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting. for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100% feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Around the basketball world, the San Antonio Spurs, without Wemby and Devin Vassell, beat Golden State on Saturday night, 126-113. They'll get a chance to do it again tonight as they welcome Golden State into the Frost Center. The expected tip at 7:30. In college, the regular season is done in all the conferences. The Longhorns won big over OU, 94-80. The Aggies crushed Ole Miss, 86-60.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got a whole bunch to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle here on Monday, March the 11th. He is RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. We hope he's talking about a whole bunch of Dallas Cowboy moves over the next 72 hours. I'm Rob Thompson, hoping the same, and Easy E. Edwin Hefner's just hoping we're on time. We got a lot to get into today. It's going to be a busy one as the NFL's legal tampering period, the legitimate, illegitimate time. I don't know what the dumb name is for. It's just, it makes no sense, but obviously the NFL focus grouped it, and it worked out fine. So we're going to continue doing it. But today, starting about 3 o'clock, it's official, but a lot of things are already happening. Midnight last night, Russell Wilson tweets out 13 #blessed. He is now a brand new Pittsburgh Steeler, and we got all kinds of guys getting cut. There is talent to be had on what is expected to be a busy day around the NFL. Thoughts as we get busy?
It's spring break, which means the Dallas Cowboys front office, you were mentioning vacation spots for Rudy Gobert. Cowboys might be there instead of at the Star, Frisco. Mm-hmm. They were very, very, very infamously in the Poconos or something during the negotiations for Tyrann Mathieu. And I think at the time with either the Houston Texans or Kansas City Chiefs, this is, they're not getting out of bed, right now, man. I mean, this is the first wave of free agency. They do not even it. And whoever you are, wherever you are, however you are listening, watching, make sure to go to SA Sports Star on YouTube, subscribe, like the video, pay the like tax, and turn on the notifications so that when Rob goes live, you feel it in your pocket. You want to feel Rob.
You do want to feel me.
And if you believe or expect them to be active, you have not been paying attention, and you are setting yourself up to be mad in the future. You don't want to do that.
So as the Cowboys sit idly by, here's what we think. Here's what is expected to happen pretty quick. Looks like the Baker Mayfield has signed 3 years, $100 million with Tampa. When they re-signed Mike Evans, it looked like a foregone conclusion. And you know what? Baker earned it. This is a good get, and I'm happy for everybody involved with that. You?
I mean, I was wrong that he would get $40 million per year, but he came pretty close.
Is it going to be 40? Wait, it's like 33, 34, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's a little shy, but good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, Baker is I think easy to root for. I know that there are some fan bases
he's a cockroach
who are not fun.
He's a cockroach,
but he is. I mean, he bet on himself,
yeah.
and he's really kind of proving that he's a great example of how much coaching matters. I mean, the dude. I mean, just spiraled. I mean, he went from Cleveland after the Deshaun trade to Carolina, and then was cut and went and played, had that cup of coffee for the Rams and played that one random Thursday night game when they beat the Raiders
with
and
36 hours of prep.
Yeah, and then showed up and I don't know that we give him enough credit for taking over for the team that you don't want to be the guy that follows the guy. He followed Tom Brady, and they were a playoff team, and there's a lot more going on than just the quarterback position. But he played really well. I mean, they didn't win, in spite of him. He didn't completely carry them, but he was enough for Mike Evans to believe in, and good for the Bucs. I think that they're an easy team. But prior to Tom Brady, the Bucs were just a team that existed.
Right.
And Baker has made sure that they have kept some sort of relevance.
And, you can't kill him, and he functions better out of the light. He is a cockroach. I mean that in the best possible light, as you can with a cockroach. And that's only because he went to OU. Further down, Mac Jones, former Bama quarterback, now backing up Sunshine there in Jacksonville. It appears the trade there is imminent. Now, they're going to give a 6th-rounder for Mac Jones. Well, nothing to read here other than Peterson wanted an experienced backup.
Yeah, I mean, it's less than the Cowboys paid for Trey Lance. You could look at it that way. And Mac has a lot of starting. He's got, among now backup quarterbacks in the NFL, he's got, the most or near the most amount of, I mean, if you're talking about non-journeyman dudes, you know what I mean? Like starting experience. And that's never a bad thing. I mean, my favorite type of archetype of backup quarterback is the youngish dude who has a lot of experience starting in places so that if you have to rely on him, he isn't frazzled. That's why I loved when Dallas signed Andy Dalton as an example. I loved when the Eagles traded for Gardner Minshew. Like, those are great archetypes of backup quarterbacks to have. And Mac Jones is that. Doug Peterson has a history of working well with quarterbacks. And so hopefully this is a solid move for Mac Jones. He'll get to play a lot more golf, certainly, in his life, moving from Foxborough to Jacksonville. But also C.J. Beathard, the current Jaguars backup quarterback, has a bit of an injury history. So I don't think enough teams prioritize QB2. Like, it is such an, like, it is, did you ever watch that show? What was it called, about the line of succession for the presidency? Designated Survivor. That's what it is.
Oh, with Keeper?
Yeah, like you have to have that person in place. You can't just assume everything will be fine if you're starting quarterback. Because what if your quarterback has to miss a month? You have to survive that time. So good for the Jaguars.
No, I think it's just an interesting move that now Sunshine has a starting job over the dude that he kind of handled in college as well. The Cowboys are expected to sit idly by as things get moving, but they could re-sign Tony Pollard, as it appears that if all things being equal and the price is right, that Tony would be first and foremost. I don't want to get into the running backs anymore, but it is going to be interesting to watch these 7 backs and see how these fall, because somebody's going to overpay, and that's going to leave somebody else to get overpay. And at the other side, somebody's going to get a back for nothing. Somebody's going to get a back.
Everyone's going to get a back for nothing.
Well, I'm talking about one of these 7. Somebody's going to get in there and going to land at about 2-3 million and have 1,800 total yards next year. I don't know which.
I don't think.
I just feel like it will. There's just these are talented dudes that were in the wrong place at the wrong time, given a situation. Some are older.
Total yards is a lot.
Yes, and I feel like there is that in there, in the right place at the right time. Any one of these 5 or 6 could do that. 1,200 on the ground, 600 receiving.
Do you know how many times your boy Saquon, who you have fallen on the cross for here, do you know how many times in 6 NFL seasons he has had 1,800 total yards from scrimmage?
Twice.
Once.
Wow, I said that with a lot of.
And it was that spectacular rookie season of his. I mean, it is so difficult. That's such a high number. I mean, and you can't pay assuming it's going to happen.
That's how I roll, RJ. Okay, if the Cowboys are going to sit idly by and they're going to get one thing, they're going to go one place and spend whatever money they have stashed in the cushions. What position do you expect them to go to at least? Well, no, they're going to get somebody. Who is it? Or what is it?
Linebacker. They're going to go. They're going to go get Mike Zimmer his wish list. You know what I mean? Or not his wish list, but they're going to say, okay, Zim, give us your wish list, but then give us your for real list. Because you know us. You've been around here. You know how we roll. You know what I mean? Like, don't don't offer with your real wish list. Tell us the one that is your within reason wish list. They're going to go out. They're going to sign a defensive. Maybe. I mean, he might be a little bit out of their price range. I mean, they're going to go out and get a classic middle linebacker, an off-ball linebacker. Maybe. Again, I mean, like you're still flirting with a price point that might be too rich for their blood.
Frank
I mean, that makes sense. That's possible. I mean, that's because you've gone down a tier. You know what I'm saying?
A man could dream, right?
So that will be among the first things that they do in terms of external moves, in my opinion. They'll probably get a defensive tackle as well, a mentor for Mozzie Smith. They still believe in Mozzie and all this stuff. They probably will re-sign maybe Dante Fowler unless he wants to follow Dan Quinn, or I don't think that they'll be able to re-sign Dorrance Armstrong, but they'll re-sign their long snapper Trent Sieg, and we got our long snapper back, party. And maybe they bring back Tony Pollard. And if you're hoping, maybe they bring back Tyron Smith. But that feels.
Whoa, wait a minute. So Tyron could come back at a lesser deal?
I mean, I'm only holding out to hope because nothing is impossible until it's done. I mean, it's remotely possible that all the chatter we heard last week was negotiating through the media on Tyron's side as well, and that. My point is like we're going to find out, one way or another today. So this is a big day.
I'm looking at
this is literally one of the biggest days for the 2024.
Okay.
This is one of the biggest days in recent Dallas Cowboys.
Do we expect Stephon Gilmore to be signed away today?
Probably not today. I mean, they might wait. That might happen later in the week if they do bring him back, because they might not be able to.
J-Ron Curse signed away, or are they going to find a way?
Happy trails, J-Ron. Wish you the best, but I bet J-Ron follows Dan Quinn to Washington.
As far as free agent defensive lineman, will it be someone of note, or is there just going to be a backup that, as we've seen Clay do it before?
I think it's going to be a somewhat recognizable name that might have connections to Mike Zimmer in the past. That there will be a free agent that they bring in that has a history with Mike Zimmer. You can set your watch by that. Your watch that I know you love to mess with digitally.
And Dorrance is too expensive.
Dorrance is probably. I think someone's going to be willing to pay Dorrance something that they're not, just because he's had moments. I mean, it's again, everything is about is if the price is right, and that's generally a good philosophy. And honestly, and I'm far from a position of trusting the Cowboys, but they generally do not lose free agents that you are then sitting and saying, man, I can't believe we let him walk. Now, they do the occasional dumb thing here, like trading away Amari Cooper. But, they generally do not let people walk who they will miss.
While they are going to chase a defensive lineman, if there's value there, you don't see them. Is there a position where you see them maybe overpaying because the possibility of success is higher?
There is nothing that they will overpay for.
Well, then how can you say this is the most important whatever time frame for the Cowboys when you expect absolutely nothing to happen?
I mean, I don't know. Have you been listening to this show for the last 2.5 months? I mean, because the level of importance doesn't matter when your job isn't on the line, right? Like if somebody told you Rob, dude, this has to be the best show of your life. I mean, you would show up and you would be doing magic tricks in the commercial breaks, right? I mean, you'd be on your game. Not that you're not, normally, but for them, what is the accountability? If for the Joneses, right? If this seismically important season doesn't go their way, what happens? They fire Mike McCarthy. They let Dak Prescott walk. Their positions aren't in any kind of jeopardy. That's what makes this franchise, unfortunately, unique in that regard, is that they don't face the same pressure that everyone associated with the team does. And the people who are facing the pressure, the aforementioned Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, don't have the authority or the power to impact this time of year. Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy aren't the people hitting up all these free agents and trying to lure them and offering them contracts or whatever. That's up to the Joneses, the people who face the least amount of accountability with regards to the team.
Well, it appears to me, and it seems to me, that a moment like this calls for a desperate and futile gesture. And
you would think.
You would think that Jerry is reading the room and is going to go out and do something that'll say, this is what I brung you.
Well, again, you would think, especially because he literally said he would. He said, we're going to be all in. And then he walked it all back and he acted like we were dumb for listening to him. You know what I mean? And so, again, you've burned your hand on the stove too many times at this point, Robin. You're saying, yeah, but like this time it might not be too bad. Like it's just as hot, man. You know what I mean? Like you've got to learn your lesson. They will. I will go as far as guaranteeing you that there is not any sign. There's not a pulse, movement on them bringing somebody in, an external free agent, until Thursday.
I think he's going to do something futile and stupid.
I think I have some beachfront property in the middle of, Wyoming to sell you.
I think that there's a lot of us that are wishing that he won't do anything after what he does.
Manifesting is a different thing than living. That's all you're doing. You're manifesting.
No, I don't think I'm manifesting. I think I think we're about to see a desperate act by a desperate
man. I could believe that if they had already demonstrated a level of proactivity. You know what I mean? If they had said, okay, like we are very clearly desperate. We're going to have to do something desperate. We're going to have to take a bit of a swing here. And in order to do that, we're going to have to do the prerequisite things like extending Dak Prescott, extending CeeDee Lamb, extending Mike. Think about all the big things that have like been pending this offseason. They haven't gotten a single extension done. They did bring back Carlton Davis, a defensive tackle. Woo, like little streamer, like woo, you know what I mean, type thing. They obviously are now potentially going to let one of their best players walk in free agency in Tyron Smith. I mean, so like. What have they done? What is the evidence to support your claim other than your own heart?
No, I just think that a man who's desperate sometimes does desperate things.
When have they done that? I mean, like again, name the instance.
The Amari Cooper was a desperate move.
That's it. That's the answer. But that was mid-season. That was October 22nd of that year.
And I don't have anything to justify it other than I do see that Jerry's the kind of a value guy. And if he sees something value there, or he might have something pinpointed, that he'd go get something just to fend off the wolves for a little while.
I don't think so, man. I mean, and like, I think you're right in a philosophical sense, but their definition of that is so warped. I mean, like they'll go get, whoever, pick the name, 5 or 7 names down your. He's got a new deal with the Ravens.
Oh, you already got it then?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it like a Zimmer gift. Like, you know what, Mike? For falling on your sword, who do you want?
Again, I think that idea is real, but it's not as quality as you think it to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We've established a championship program. It's just not the
Mike
world championship yet.
They just don't have it.
They will give you a prize. They will give us the proverbial carrot, but their definition of carrot and our definition of carrot is like a very different thing. Like the carrot I'm talking about is like the big juicy ones that Bugs was eating on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of carrot I want. They're gonna give us the little strings that you put on your salad. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're gonna be like, well, here's your carrot. You've been crying and you've been whining about a carrot. We got it for you, Rob. Here you go. Munch up.
Have you heard a Cowboys stand up for what was being said about them last week? Somebody come up and said, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Culture ain't a problem. Has anybody come out and said anything?
If you read between the tea leaves, somebody may have gone on the gram and had a sub post at old Dalton Schultz.
I love the sub post on the gram.
IG
on the Iggy.
I've never heard anyone call it Iggy, but I mean, it's not too late to add a new nickname.
We might be saying goodbye to TikTok though. And great sadness will be followed. Hey, let's look around at what the Cowboys could or could not be doing. And some things might need to be changed internally. Is the culture a problem? Has anybody stood up for it? And it's a little bit of clap back for what Dalton Schultz had to say. We're going to check the gram for all the answers. Hold on. We got a lot to do. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Ancira Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, AntonioLASIK.com. Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Let's listen in on a modern-day marriage proposal. The players lit their smartphones. The young man pledges his true love to the woman of his dreams. She accepts. They exchange kissing emojis. There are some hearts. Very nice. Well, look at this. He's putting his phone down. I don't believe it. He's got a box from Diamonds Direct. Well, now she puts her phone down. Oh, unbelievable. That, folks, shows how special a diamond from Diamonds Direct is. 2 people have put their phones down. He slips the Diamonds Direct diamond on her finger. She kisses him. Human contact, ladies and gentlemen. Who knew a Diamonds Direct diamond was capable of revolutionizing the virtual universe? And look at this. Her phone is ringing and she's still looking at her Diamonds Direct diamond. Oh, what's next? Tweets from actual birds? Amazing things really do happen when you give her a diamond from Diamonds Direct. Come in today and see how we can help you download real emotion. Details, store hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Your love, our passion.
Don't you love an extra $100 in your pocket? Have a TurboTax expert file your taxes for you by March 31st to get $100 back instantly. Because no matter what moves you made last year, TurboTax makes them count. That means getting $100 back and 100% accurate taxes, only from Intuit TurboTax. Must file by 3/31. Credit only applicable to federal filing fees with TurboTax full service. Offer can be modified or terminated at any time.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
If you're a pro and flooring is your game, we'll help you win it. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. You want decor?
Try.
You want plumbing?
You're out.
LL Flooring has been helping pros knock it out of the park for over 30 years. Visit one of our 400 nationwide warehouses for one-on-one service, extensive inventory, and exclusive pro pricing.
All right.
Get the pro treatment you deserve. Enroll today, online or in-store. LL Flooring, every step covered.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hi, it's Jason Minnick. You're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it's the Morning Huddle. He's RJ, I'm Rob. The Blitz, which encompasses Jason and Joe, is going to go to Vegas. You want to head with them. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend. It'll start March the 28th as they celebrate the first pitch of baseball season. In fact, Greg Maddox is going to be with the Blitz there at the Cirque, which is the world's largest sports book. They're going to broadcast live from there as opening day begins. We'll be in the midst of Sweet 16. If you want to go with them, it's easy. Book now at sasportstar.com. Click on the link. If you use the code MINNIX20, which in our parlance means almost the huddle, you will get 20% off of what is already a greatly discounted rate at the Cirque. Beautiful place, brand new hotel, biggest sports book I've ever seen next to a swimming pool. Never thought that would be, I'd see that. That happened actually before the Sphere. Go out and have a good time with them. And it's just a couple of weeks away. There you have it. I said it. I said it. Hey, in a couple minutes, I do want to talk about the Oscars, the Academy Awards last night, and you convinced me that one of the great redeeming qualities of the social media world is the tent post events where we're all watching a tent post, same thing. Tent pole events, the thing that we're all watching that we can share conversations with, and no truer scenario than the Oscars, because it brings together everybody. A lot like the Super Bowl. Everybody watches, even if you don't have an interest at all. You're paying attention. And last night was really interesting. But I have this question before we delve into more important subjects. Who will win an Oscar first? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Mark Wahlberg, or Tom Cruise? Don't answer. We're gonna continue with that in about 15 minutes.
I know the answer, but okay.
You do? You know the answer?
I do know the answer.
I do too. I'm just not going to share it with you right now. Jake Ferguson is a fine young tight end, the kind of tight end that a guy like Joe Reinagel can pinpoint immediately. You know, the day that Reinagel saw,
I give him zero credit for this, by the way.
He's like, that guy, Reinagel liked the cut of Jake Ferguson's jib. And you know what? He's come to the defense of his Dallas Cowboys.
It would seem that way.
Well, that's what do you mean it would seem? He did.
He posted on his Instagram story over the weekend. I think it might have been Friday. There was no text. It was just a photo of, an entrance that said it is a privilege, not a right, to play and coach for the Dallas Cowboys, which is an ism that is said, I don't know, maybe in every high school weight room in the world.
Play like a champ today.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to poke holes in Jake Ferguson taking up for the cause, because that is objectively cool. You want dudes like that. And Jake Ferguson is that guy who will, get in the scrap. I mean, think about the way the Cowboys played against the Seahawks. And you want a little bit of that moxie, on your team. And Jake certainly is that guy for the Cowboys. And so it does seem like he was standing up for the locker room, the literal locker room, after Dalton Schultz's comments last week. There were a lot of Cowboys fans who kind of gravitated to this and said, that's my tight end. He's so much better than Schultz and blah, blah, blah. Just because that's the way things go. I'm kind of with it. I don't know that I think that Dalton was incorrect, but I think it's cool that Jake at least flew the company flag.
So the defender of Cowboy culture is Jake Ferguson. The guy that has stepped up to tell Dalton Schultz, hey, you can go suck it, Texan. I don't know what your problem is. The only reason you're just a bitter. The guy to step up was his backup. Okay, so if we're bitching about culture and we're calling out, Dak even said, man, when you bring up culture, I feel personally attacked. So he said that.
We get to suck on that all week.
So he said, hey, you don't call out culture. So the lone defender of the greatness that is play like a champion today, it is a right, not a privilege. Or a privilege, not a right. Maybe it's the other way around. Was Jake Ferguson. I think we got a culture problem, RJ.
I would say that Jake disagrees with you. I think that
Jake that's one guy, yeah.
It is cool that you have one guy, and I think that probably feel like if there were more guys like Jake Ferguson, that there wouldn't be a culture.
Well, shouldn't there
problem,
be more guys going, hey, you can talk about this, you can talk about that, but don't talk about my culture. You don't know.
It's possible.
Why hasn't there been?
The Dak comment preceded the Schultz comment, by the way. He didn't say, I feel personally attacked after Schultz said what he did.
But he did say, when you bring up culture, I feel attacked.
I do think that there is a tendency to kind of be the bigger person, right? And do your work in silence or whatever.
I don't have that problem.
Well, I know. I'm just saying that there are some instances, though, where even if that is your disposition, where you kind of throw caution to that wind and you say, you know what? Like, we've reached the point of enough. I want to come out and say it. I do think it's kind of hard to attack Schultz, though, because he wasn't rude about what he said. You know, he wasn't like, I guess maybe the zoo line is probably what rubbed people the wrong way. But I didn't find Dalton Schultz to be off-putting or aggressive in his commentary.
No, I'm not mad at Dalton. I think he pointed out something that is evident. But I am upset that Cowboy fan or Cowboy player doesn't step up and say, you know what? I'm not going to dispute anything that Dalton said, but I will say this. If you want to be a big dog, get off the porch and go run with him. You're going to have to put up with some crap like that. If you want to be a big dog, you're going to have to put up with some press. If you want to be a big dog and want to be talked about to lead ESPN every segment, every day, you're going to have to get off the porch and go run. So, yes, is that an issue? Yes, but I'll tell you what, don't question our culture. We understand where we are. And no one has said that, not even Micah. Like, Micah didn't step forward and say, you know what? Yeah, I have the freedom to go do this. I live on the edge, baby, but I understand where I am. You know, no one has come out. Not one dude said, hey, wait a minute.
Except
yes,
for Jake.
It's the Cowboys.
Except for Jake, even although he did it somewhat silently.
Yeah,
right.
So,
like you have to read into things to assume that he was standing up for the culture. Well, so then let me ask you this. Do you believe then that the silence is agreement?
Yes.
That the silence,
I think the silence is deafening. Like, you know what? There's too much of the Dallas Cowboys going on with the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, I do think that there's also a sense of not wanting to bite the hand that feeds you if you're on the team. That's why, like, it's easier for former players to come out because anybody who's on the team benefits from the attention that, you know, is afforded the team. And so if you come out and you say, oh, I don't want attention on me, I don't want my brand or my whatever to grow, I don't want more, you know, opportunities for me, then, you know, you're damaging yourself in the process. But so there might be a lot of silent, yeah, Dalton's right, yeah. And even Jake could, in a semantics world, say, I didn't say anything, you know, I just thought it was a cool picture. You know what I mean? I'm just posting on the Iggy. You know, like, this isn't a big deal for me. So it's an awkward position to put the players in themselves because, again, they all have personal interests, and I don't think you can fault anybody for that.
Yeah, but other teams have guys. I just wish that there was one dude. And it would be somebody, it'd have to be like Tyron or Zach Martin. And if they walked out and said, you know what, hold your horses. You know, but not one.
It would be really nice I agree with you, to hear somebody rattle back. You know what I mean? Somebody clap back and say, dude, relax. Or to say, you had no problem signing back up for the culture when you wanted a new deal. To hear, you know, to hear the things that, like, the Homer fans are saying, it would be nice to see a Cowboys player do that. And I understand it's not necessarily par for the course in professional sports. This is a fraternity and a brotherhood. And Schultz is so recently removed from the team that he has a lot of friends, obviously, still in the locker room. And I do think it's difficult for even Jake Ferguson to say something, because then it looks like, oh, dude, you're just happy this guy's gone and you were able to benefit and blah, blah, blah. So you're right. It would be nice to kind of have the hall monitor, so to speak, to come in and just put an end to it. And everybody would make fun of that person, and nobody wants to be that person because of the culture, right? Like if somebody were to come in and say like, hey, this is stupid, Dalton, you shut up, you're wrong. Everybody would drag that person and be like, dude, have you looked around? It's a zoo, like the court of public opinion is such a treacherous place to win any kind of argument. And right now, all evidence suggests that Dalton Schultz is right. All evidence allows anybody to take whatever shots they want at the Cowboys and be the correct opinion in the room. And so standing up for, that is a difficult proposition in our current moment.
Hey, the Cowboys might have a culture problem. The Spurs don't. Since the All-Star break, the Spurs are leading the NBA in a category that will floor you. And on Saturday night, the Spurs did something they have not done since Wemby got here. They were 0 for 7 until then. We'll tell you what those are coming up next. We talk some Spurs right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I don't know if you can smell it. I don't know if you can feel it, but there is mayhem in the air. It's time for basketball bettors to gather around and head toward betus.com, because that's the only book I have endorsed. You know what? They've been around for 30 years. You know why they have lasted this long? Because they take care of me. They'll take care of you. For over 30 years, BetUS has been the epic three-pointer in the book world. And right now, they got something for you that you are not going to believe. 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3. Yes, I said 3 deposits. That's the industry's craziest offer. I've never seen it before. I've been endorsing them for years, and it just keeps getting better. 125% sign up on your first 3 deposits. Call them right now, 1-800-MY-BET-US. That's 1-800-MY-BET-US. And if you call them right now and get that initial 125, let me tell you, there's more going on. If you got crypto, how about a 200% crypto sign up bonus? And the thing I love about betus.com is they got everything I need before the game, after the game. If I want to dig into some casino play, they got that too. That's why BetUS is my book. Make them yours. Call them 1-800-MY-BET-US right now. Get your 125% bonus. Get it 3 times and thank me later.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
John Machota from The Athletic joining us. You mentioned Dak. Do you find it normal or a little odd that they're apparently not going to meet with Dak's representatives there in Indianapolis?
I don't think it's odd, just because of the fact that his representation hasn't changed since the last contract, and so they know where everything pretty much stands. It's about, this is where we want to be, this is where you want to be. You want to give a little bit? Are we going to give a little, or are we going to wait this thing out like the last one, where in the end, Dak got pretty much everything you could want?
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hi, I'm Jade, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the savoriness of the sausage, the fluffiness of the egg, and the butteriness of the biscuit. It's amazing. The perfect start to my day.
Hi, everyone. It's Justin. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the fluffy egg, the melted cheese, and the sizzling sausage. It's the start to your morning that you didn't know you need.
Order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and Simply Orange juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog at Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The legal tampering period in the NFL is officially open. We will have the latest on The Blitz starting at 2 o'clock today. Plus, Spurs, Warriors tonight. Will Wemby play? We'll have the latest on game night San Antonio. Hey, Rob, when was the last time you legally tampered with something?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it might incriminate me. Although it might be legal, tampering never sounds good. But the NFL must just like some subterfuge. Can you imagine if baseball had something akin to this? A title of some sort of like, you know what, it is the, for the next week, we have the legal pitch count offer, the pitch offering. I don't know. It just seems, why would they go larcenist on this? I teased a stat that I find utterly ridiculous, and on the top of the hour, we're going to talk about the Spurs as they welcome Golden State in. But did you know, since the All-Star break, the Spurs are the best shooting three-point team in the NBA? I'll say that again.
Say it again.
Since the All-Star break, the Spurs are the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. Not on volume, but on percentage. They say that proudly because before the All-Star break, that little 4-day off, they were the worst team in the NBA. I've never seen this from the Spurs before. I don't think in Greg Popovich's time frame with the Spurs, and we know how long that's been, if he has done it, he might have done it once. Had a team lead the NBA in three-point shooting percentage. I would like somebody to find me over the last 30 years. Has the Spurs ever been there? And has there ever been a team that went from worst to best? I'm not saying it'll last, but this is ridiculous. But it does sign to something where the Spurs have come. I'll tell you, minus Wemby and Devin, they went into Golden State on Saturday night and pantsed them. That was not even close. No Steph. I'm not going to say it was them fully staffed, but then, no Devin, no Victor. It was Pop getting the opportunity with about 11 dudes that would sell their souls to be in the league. And it looked that way. Those dudes balled out for 48 consecutive minutes. There was never a let up. Now, they weren't smart all the time, but they blew out a championship stock team. Now, they're not championship caliber now, but there's dudes that know how to win games on that team, and they ran them out of the gym.
Obviously, there are still some high pedigree players on the Warriors that aren't Steph because he was not in this
Clay
game.
had like 25. He had a nice night.
No, I know. I mean, but he's not Clay. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, but you get like, he's still Klay Thompson, you know what I mean? Like, so, but again, like relative to the current moment, this really felt like when baseball first got rid of steroids. It was like, okay, let's see Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa in a home run contest.
Let's do this right.
That's what this was with Pop and Steve Kerr, and it was fun. It was cool, and it was nice to be on the winning side of it. It was impressive. I mean, we've given the Spurs a lot of grief, and I don't think any of it was unfair, but it does seem like they have calmed things down a bit. The popularism is that the game has slowed down. I think it finally has slowed down for a lot of these young players to where you can go somewhere, granted, not the Warriors of old, but still there's a lot of mystique in buildings like that and not be fazed by it, especially without your superstars in front of you leading the way. I mean, I do think that there was something freeing to that, and I think we've seen that in back-to-back games without Wemby, obviously kind of the Kings loss as well. There is something, some sort of liberty to Wemby not being on the floor. Not that he's a demerit in any way, but there is some sort of like, let's just go play. let's just go play basketball and see what happens and see what sticks. And it's stuck in the proper way.
Easy E, our crack statistician. We have a term for him. Back in 2013, 2014.
Good times.
The Spurs led the league in 3-point shooting.
Shout out Danny Green and Patty Mills.
That was the last time we were there. So at least it's happened in the last decade. But ridiculous. And at the top of that, we're going to look at that. Spurs are going to be home, or at least in Texas, for a long time. We'll look at what that run might be with Wemby coming back tonight. But today, the water cooler talk, the word through the social media is going to be about last night in the Academy Awards. Jimmy Kimmel was great. I'm a fan of Jimmy Kimmel. I think he fights the good fight in a lot of different ways, and it's not easy to host something like that. And he's just low key enough and just quick witted enough to be like a referee. I want to know you're there, but I don't want you to inflict yourself on the process.
And you got to have one-liners that aren't too clever to where they take control of the joke. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the night or the moment, but they got to be funny enough to transition us. Like I thought he had a great line after Emma won the Academy Award for Best Leading Actress. Mm-hmm. And it was clever because it was reference to recent Oscars history. He said, everybody check that envelope. We don't want to have a fiasco with the Best Picture, winner. That was funny. That was
the amount of work that goes into prep for the host. I mean, he's got probably 5 writers that he's paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to prepare himself for every possible instance, including physical violence, I would assume. Not an easy prospect at all. What was when we ask you, what do you remember about last night? What would it be?
Oppenheimer. And I actually had this thought as they were accepting the final award of the night. It has to be we've talked about it a lot with Patrick Mahomes, but a Jordan-ish sort of effect. It has to suck when you do all this work for a movie that is objectively amazing, and it just happens to exist in a year where an all-time film exists, right? And your performance is just second fiddle to something that is unique of its time.
And I don't know which one of those movies qualified. I mean, there were some good ones. I liked the one with the kids that stayed over at the boarding school. I appreciated that one too. It was low key, really good. I didn't even know it was nominated for a Best Picture. What I liked more about last night than anything else was the way when the big awards were offered to the Best Actor and Actress in a lead role, where they had previous winners stand up and speak to each one of the performances. I'd never seen that before, and I think it added a fair amount of weight to the winner. It really showed what the winner did. But more importantly, it showed that all of them had done such a great job. And, I've always been the kind of, if you ain't first, you last. If you didn't win it, go ahead and be happy you were just in the room. But I really enjoyed the way one actor spoke to the other about their performances. It made me want to go see those films, even though I didn't really have any desire to see a couple of those anyway. But that will be my takeaway. That was an extraordinary move, and I think that needs to stay.
It's a cool little tradition, like that you could also be a part of if you're in that club, and it's exclusivity. You know what I mean? Like you only get to present those if you've won it before. And it was cool. Yeah, I mean, well, I know they have the like previous winner actually do the presenting. But it's cool to have, like a players only type, club or whatever, like that is a part of all of that. I also thought that they did a great job of lining up the presenters with the nominees. Like the MOs kind of matched. You know what I'm saying? Like Matthew McConaughey described Bradley Cooper, and it kind of worked. Like all the descriptions were perfect from presenter to presentee, and ultimately to the winner. It was really cool.
You talk about Twitter and, its meaning to the society as it's kind of like you can judge the waves. There's the wave of Twitter where everybody kind of noticed the same thing. And as they were getting ready to give away the best lead actor, and they had the former Academy Award winning standing up there, and Ben Kingsley and Al Pacino and guys we all recognize, and then Nick.
Yeah, there were a lot of again.
Cage.
That's kind of the effect. That's the effect you're talking about. I saw a million tweets that were like, Nick Cage just won.
Nick Cage won an Oscar, and everybody immediately went to IMDb or someplace to go for like, oh, we got 96.
It was very, very strange to see Nick Cage in that light. Another kind of Twitter moment that was great was Ryan Gosling's performance of I'm Just Ken. I know you haven't seen. Slash was there. I mean, what? Like, who would have ever thought that Ryan Gosling and Slash would be performing together for millions and millions and millions of people?
I didn't notice that was Slash. I wasn't paying that close of attention.
Yeah. I know you haven't seen the song because you haven't seen the movie, but that's a great moment in the movie, and it was a great moment on the evening as well.
It's funny you brought up McConaughey, who I thought, McConaughey has his faults, and he wears a funny color, and he roots for the wrong school. But other than that, I've always been, he's got a way with words. He's got a Texan kind of drawl and focus on things that I've always appreciated the way he says stuff. And I expected something really extraordinary for Gosling. And it was kind of like, yeah, and he wrote and he did this, and there he is. And of all of the, I don't even know what you described, what they did, the descriptions or whatever, the accolades that they offered. I thought that McConaughey's was the weakest of all of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you stand next to Nick Cage, it's easy to look like the silver medal. You know what I mean? So Nick got to describe Paul Giamatti's performance, which was awesome. It's so Nick Cage and Keanu Reeves exist in their own universe at this point.
And there was new John Cena. Yes.
Yeah, John Cena. I don't know exactly. That was before I sat down to give this my entire attention. But John Cena seemingly was.
Hey man,
in his birthday suit.
Don't act like you're not impressed. I'll just say that, dude.
Well,
I would have made it a much different shaped card.
You didn't include him in your who's most likely to win an Oscar first. Who did you have? The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, and
Tom Cruise. Of those three, I want to go out with that. Who do you think is most likely to win an Oscar between those three?
You have to play the game. Play the game of like who has the most support, who has the most power, and it's by far The Rock. The Rock is unquestionably the most likely.
I was with you with your description, but I think it's Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise, I won't get into his Scientology and all that, but there's going to come a time when Hollywood's like, we're going to have to give this cat an award. Kind of like the Leonardo DiCaprio thing a couple years ago. Tom's going to have to take some kind of like little indie project so he can kind of pour his heart into something that nobody's ever going to watch. And then they're going to give him the award because, he saved Hollywood. I mean, isn't he the one with the Mission Impossible? That was the movie that brought everybody back to the theater.
No, Top Gun. Top Gun 2 was the one that brought everybody. Yeah. I mean, maybe, but I think if he wins, it'll be as like a director. You know what I mean? Like I think he's past the point of like being the star of an indie project, that archetype, whatever.
No, what they're going to do is they're going to adapt a new Oscar category. Best actor in a running scene. Because
best actor to revive a 30-year-old character.
He is the best runner in all of moviedom. Hey, coming back, the Spurs are running toward the Frost Center, and they're going to take on the Golden State Warriors, and they're going to do it with Wemby this time. You ready for it? That's next.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Prescott all the way, runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com. Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. Did you know your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s? So if you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Book your appointment now. Go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
With conference championships around the corner, now's the time to register for the Twin Peaks Dos Million Bracket Challenge. Sign up now at TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com. That's TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com. Then fill out your bracket before the tournament tips off on March the 21st. Enter for your chance to win $2 million and even more epic prizes, including a $50 Twin Peaks gift card to the top bracket from every lodge. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views. Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Did you know Metamucil helps you get regular and stay regular?
Powered by naturally sourced, plant-based psyllium fiber, it traps and removes the waste that weighs you down. Feel what lighter feels like by signing up for the Metamucil 2-week challenge at metamucil.com. Lighten every day, the Metamucil way. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs, without Wemby and Devin Vassell, took down the Golden State Warriors on Saturday night, 126-113. Let's see if they can get two in a row against the Warriors tonight at the Frost. Tip-off set for 7:30. In college hoops, regular season is done. The Longhorns took down OU 94-80. A&M crushed Ole Miss 86-60.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembanyama three. Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. This is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. Down the other side of the double pane, that is Easy-E Edwin Hafner. So far, we have learned this year, today, that the San Antonio Spurs lead the NBA in three-point percentage. They haven't done that since 2013, and I put it to you, it's probably only been 2 or 3 times in the history of the Spurs with Pop since that stat's been kept that the Spurs have done that. Let's talk about them Spurs. They got 8 consecutive home games to play with. That's, they earned it. They spent all of February on the road, and that added another day. It was even longer than normal. But here they sit coming off a West Coast roadie. Did to Golden State what they did minus Devin and Wemby. Things are kind of maybe looking up.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I think these are the golden hours of this season. Because I put it to you, at the end of this 8-game road trip, homestand, how many games will have Wemby have played by then? We're going to be real close to 65.
Let's see here. Let me find his total tabulation.
Because as we search that out, Wemby might have tweaked an ankle against the Rockets the other night in that embarrassing kind of loss that everybody was kind of flat. And even though they were flat, they were kind of in it late. I think he sat out this roadie because he was tired. I think that this is in prep. That was in prep for him to come home. He's going to go up and impress the Austin folks for a couple of games. You're going to play at home for a couple games. We're going to cement and complete his Rookie of the Year run. We're going to make sure the numbers are valid enough for him to be on one of the all-NBA defensive teams, probably second team or first team, depending how you want to quantify him, because he will be second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. And then we're going to put him to bed. We're going to wrap him in bubble wrap. We're going to let him go practice for the Olympics, and we won't see him again till he's teaming up with the rest of the Frenchies there in Paris there in August.
Oh.
I'm just preparing everybody for
it. How many games do you think is that? What do you feel like in your head?
I figure he's probably in the low 50s.
Give me a number. Put a number on
53.
it. Come on, put your money.
54,
Come on, Rob.
54,
Come on.
54.
You did not go over, so you still are eligible for the showcase. Congratulations, Rob.
Oh, good. 99.
56.
So at 56, 9 more games. We got 8 more home games.
That's
8 more in a row.
I'm not trying to accuse anyone of anything, but I don't think it's a coincidence that there's an 8-game homestand coming up. Some of which is in a market that the team seems to care a lot about. and that Wemby still has games that he's required to get to in order for the 65 game threshold. You know what I mean? This is just worked out beautifully. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful coincidence. But yeah, I think this homestand is the last. It's the last good bite. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to get a Wemby for a long time in a Spurs
I really
uniform.
believe that. Now, I'll bitch about it when it comes, and we'll debate whether it's worthy or not, and whether this whole young group gets treated different. But over the next 8 games, I do expect for Pop and this basketball team, as it is currently coordinated and put together, to have its best run of the season. I think the numbers are pointing up. We're going to be running against teams that are going to be on the road, that are in the midst of their own process, which will involve not winning. So I think there's going to be some gimmies built into that. But I also see a team that is starting to kind of see some benefit to what they've been told to do. You know, you get coached to do things and you do it over and over and you're not winning. And every now and then you kind of feel it work, but it never works. And everybody tells you you're doing the right thing, but you get no benefit. And then finally you keep doing the same stuff and suddenly things get easy. You know, that play that you just never were open, suddenly the other guys are doing the right things. They're in the right place and the picks are happening on time. And the guy that's making the pass is passing on time. So all those things that maybe 3 of the 4 things were working in game, or 2 of 4 things were working and the other 2 were causing that particular set to collapse, suddenly everybody's on the same page. And it gets a whole lot easier to play and hold on to leads and victories. Your favorite stat, RJ, is the percentage of possibility of winning or losing, depending on when was the last of
probability.
The probability. So I would like to chart, and I'm sure somebody out there will start charting in those wins when the probability is starting to pop up of assured victory or comfortable victory. Because it's happening earlier for the Spurs. So I saw it early, like Saturday night. It was early.
The Spurs jumped into positives on win probability with 11-17 left in the first half.
In the first half on the road against the Golden State Warriors.
They were at that point they were leading 37-27. They had a 55.3% win probability, and they never fell south of the 50 percentage mark. Now they did dip a little bit down, before halftime, just a little bit. But again, they still were more likely to win than not. So for, let's call it 75% of the game, if you're a Spurs fan, you were watching pretty comfortably because they never let loose.
Not a familiar place for new Spurs fans. It's been a minute since you felt comfortable early that this is going to go the way we should, because just last week Sacramento gave one away, and Gilbert Padilla on our brigade bar, I don't know what happened there, said this Spurs season started 5 games ago and the Spurs are 3-2, and quite frankly, Gilbert, they should be 4-1. Malachi, that loss was on you. I'm not going to give it to anybody else. You get to own it. You get to wear it. But that's one more ping pong ball in the bucket. So there was some benefit to it. Let's give flowers. Let's give flowers to those that deserve it. Barlow.
That's Barlow, your boy.
Had his contract converted a couple weeks back, or last week or so. He is now a full-fledged NBA player. Doesn't have to go to Austin anymore. And is getting some minutes as Zach Collins spent some time hurt. As Wemby spent some time away, he's played in Wemby's stead on Saturday. He's going to turn out to be something, RJ. Of all the guys on this team, he has the highest ceiling. He has a higher ceiling than Blake or Malachi. He does. Not that Blake and Malachi don't have NBA level ceilings. They both are NBA players and both have their own attributes. But Barlow can do some things. There, you can see it, and I think Pop and the coaching staff are excited for the opportunity to let him play, and that was another reason I think they felt pretty comfortable and letting Wemby sit down for a couple of games, because Barlow is indeed playing well. And let's give some love to Zach Collins as well. His games against Sacramento was worthy. So there's some positives coming out.
Not to not be positive, but it's not hard to prove yourself to be, better than this field. Right, that's where we're at, and that's why wins like Saturday night are so impressive. And Pop deserves a lot of credit, and the Spurs front office deserves a semblance of credit. To your point, for finding, I think we we count more players that we feel confident are a part of the future on the roster now than we did a month ago, right? I mean, I don't know that the Brian Wright heat has cooled, and I think a lot of people have just kind of put a bookmark in things with regards to that by saying, okay, well, we're post trade deadline. You can't do anything now. We've just got to ride this out. That your true moment of reckoning will come, later in the summer. But I mean, you can't tell me that this is the plan. And I know that's not your point. But you do need some supplementary parts, and I do think that we're starting to identify those just a little bit.
The Spurs will welcome in Golden State Warriors tonight and got a back-to-back with the Rockets tomorrow. Some payback due the Rockets, though I did see Alpy, Mr.
He got
Sanguine,
hurt.
rolled off in a wheelchair yesterday, so he might not be here for the rematch. And, man, I'm sure Victor was looking forward to getting back at a dude that just hung 45 on him. Warriors, Rockets, Nuggets, Nets, Mavericks, Grizzlies, and Suns will all and that's both here and in Austin. Suns in the March the 23rd and the 25th, as they will get a back-to-back and finish the season a series against the Suns. This is not an easy home stand, but I do think they're going to be able to sneak a few in.
Which of these do you guarantee that they will lose?
That they will lose?
Yeah, Denver?
Denver on the road on a Friday night. No, they're not going to beat Denver.
Yeah, so that's
a guaranteed
It's a guaranteed loss.
That's the only one that I would circle.
I think they're guaranteed to split.
Because the Suns, we don't talk about them enough, and I think that's an indictment. They're the most disappointing team in the NBA this year. The season isn't done, but to this moment, I think the Suns are eminently beatable, no matter who is playing or hurt.
So we agree then that the ceiling on this 8-game quote-unquote homestand is 6 wins.
Yeah, I think the ceiling is 6. They're probably going to go 3-3 or maybe 2-4, but that's not what I'm talking about. I think we're going to see the best basketball that they've played in the next 8 games.
I agree with that. That's completely fair. This is as optimistic as we've ever been in this team. I mean, how could you not be right now? I mean, they deserve some flowers. This is a small bouquet. You know what I mean? This is you don't got a lot, to kind of work with, but you got to get something. I mean, but you got to show up with flowers. So we've shown up. All right, now we need you to show up, Spurs. You want the bigger bouquet? You want the bigger bunch? We'll get it for you. But right now, you get the small one.
I put it to them. They better beat either the Nuggets or the Mavs, one or the other, and beat the Suns in one of the two. If they can do that, then they're going to do 4-2. 4-3, depending on how we are. I'm sorry, 6-2.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely beating Houston. They're definitely beating Brooklyn. They're definitely beating Memphis. And
I think they're going to beat the Rockets, too.
Yeah. And they're definitely splitting the Suns games. So...
And at that point, then we'll bitch about Wemby going away. But I think at that moment, if he does what I expect him to do over the next several weeks, because we do have some cool matchup. He and Luke are going to be on the court together. He and Kevin Durant are going to be on the court together twice. He's going to be on the court against the Rockets, and there's going to be some payback due, whether Alpy is out there or not, because they got physical with him. And I think that Pop's going to have him lean into that game. Like, dude, okay, this is going to be you kind of left alone. I'm going to see if there's time for you to put on the big boy pants and continue doing it. But this, I think, Spurs fans, this over the next 8 games, over the next 2 weeks, this is the golden time for the Spurs. This is as good as it's going to be. So, and that's not going to, I don't think it's going to include a lot of wins, but I do think we're going to look at every game and go, but for this, and if, what for those 3 stupid turnovers, and but for, that, we win each one of the games that they're going to play in.
This is also your last chance, Pop and co, to really work, to really get legit work done, because after this 8-game, stretch here, you've got 10 left on the season, and 5 of those are on the road. You know what I mean? So it's back to kind of haphazardness. You have a 2-week run of, no distractions, no anything. I mean, I know the Austin game's whatever, but not that big of a deal in that sense. This is your last kind of big surge of cohesiveness before the summer takes you different directions, and this team in this sense isn't ever together again, and you have hopefully new pieces, new parts, whatever. So the last thing you want to implement and institute, this is your window.
Make sure you're listening to the Blitz today. 5:30 and get you ready as the Silver and Black Prep Show get you ready for the big game tonight. Hey, we've got huge news in the NFL, and it could affect the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys talking about letting Michael Gallup find his own trade, which means we're cutting you here in about 3 days. There is a wide receiver who has requested a trade. Should the Cowboys be in on it? We're looking at the most important 48 hours the Dallas Cowboys have had since last week. We're talking free agency next. It is legal tampering, and we will legally tamper. Hold on tight. The Morning Huddle continues right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
At BetUS.com, why do we care about a college basketball tournament every March? Where bets mean everything? Because it's March Mania, where glory triumphs and anything can happen. Where underdogs can make or break our hearts. Because it's March Mania, where brackets are broken and buzzers are beaten. And there's always been a sports book there for you and your best buds. Because it's March Mania. BetUS has been with you through 30 Marches together. And like any good six-man, we've always had your back. And because it's March, BetUS.com is matching the Mania with a mad offer. Back to back 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And the extra confidence that comes from a 10% gambler's insurance. Because anything can happen during March Mania. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins. Get started today.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagel. You know, now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail. Who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
At Sherman, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Sherman, don't you soft on the potty. Let's just so roll it back, everybody. Sherman's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always stocked. It's our party vice. So our chicks feel fine. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Sherman Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Sherman.
Have pain? Have chronic pain, low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain? I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications. We do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait, text ENERGY to 200-300.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. It is finally here. Legal tampering. That's what the NFL calls it. You start talking to free agents. What are the latest rumors? And will the Cowboys somehow do something? We'll have the latest on that. Plus, the Spurs are back home. They're going to take on the Golden State Warriors tonight. Will Wemby be back in action? We'll have the latest for you on Game Night San Antonio. Hey, RJ. Man, I can't wait for those Cowboy rumors to start.
Hey, we don't repeat rumors. You're going to have to listen close the first time. This is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson, a big hee-haw fan. There's a couple of y'all got that. That is Easy E on the other side of the double pane glass. Joe's talked about it. They're going to be here at 2, and in about 3 weeks, they're going to be in Las Vegas for the Sweet 16. They have a sweet deal going. They're headed to the Cirque. It's got the that super big sports book with a swimming pool. It's also opening day weekend. They're going to be the 28th and 29th, and they want you to go with them. You can go to sasportstar.com. There's a link there. If you'll click on that, remember Minix 20, MINNIX 20. If you say that, Minix 20, what RJ and I hear is not quite the Morning Huddle, but same thing. Minix 20 will get you 20% off an already greatly discounted weekend. That's the Cirque. And the Blitz is going. You want to go with them. I know I do. This is the beginning of the legal tampering period, as Joe Reinagle just pointed out. We got some news coming across the board. One of the what we thought would be a free agent that would benefit from the Michael Pittman franchising, T. Higgins would rather play someplace else. He has requested a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals, according to Adam Schefter. Does that benefit the Cowboys at all?
So T. Higgins was actually the first player to be franchise tagged this offseason. So he's on the tag. Obviously hasn't, been down with it. Wants a long-term deal, some long-term stability, some long-term security. I don't know how this benefits the Cowboys. They're not going to be in on T. Higgins, and they don't need to be. But this is something that could impact the other team in the state of Texas. The Houston Texans should be all over this. If they are not dialing up the Bengals and saying, we will give you, I don't know, a second and a third for T. Higgins, right. I mean, you've got to do it at this point. I mean, I don't know that you have to say got to, but you really, really need to look into this. The Texans could highly benefit from a star wide receiver to pair with Nico Collins and Tank Dell and obviously Dalton Schultz.
This on the heels of the Cowboys have given wide receiver Michael Gallup permission to seek a trade. If they can't trade him first, they're going to have to cut him, and that'll happen in about a week. On the 17th, he will be gone. That'll save him a $9.5 million against the cap if it's designated him as a post-June 1 cut. So he's not going to be a Cowboy. He's going to be gone. As it sits right now, is that other wide receiver on the Cowboys, the other starting? I know we got a starter in CD. Brandon Cooks and Gallup soon to be gone. Do we have anybody else on the roster that?
I don't think Brandon Cooks is soon to be gone. Okay. I mean, I would be stunned. I mean, Brandon Cooks is coming back for another season with the team, but they need help. I mean, they can't really rely on Jalen Tolbert. I think they'll learn that. They have Jalen Brooks, who they drafted in the 7th round last year. They have players that we'll fall in love with in undrafted free agency, like, the likes of Jalen Moreno-Cropper or whatever. But, I mean, you need 4 wide receivers to run in the NFL.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, according to Jeremy Fowler, there are some, I'm going to read this whole thing. Some in the NFL believe that Dallas Cowboys will pursue running back Saquon Barkley, although Jordan Ronan of ESPN reported that the Cowboys aren't expected to reach Barkley's price point. Ronan listed the Chargers, the Ravens, the Bears, and the Texans among those as interested suitors. And you brought up the Texans. The Texans are in the market for, have you noticed they're on the list for every free agent?
Well, they have a lot of cap space, and they're in a window that needs to be capitalized and exercised upon. And so it makes sense to connect them. I mean, they're hot. I mean, why CJ Stroud is the offensive rookie of the year. Like, he is the next, great quarterback of the NFL, obviously, to live and thrive. And so who wouldn't want to go be a part of that? And then you throw in the like cheeky cliches like no state income tax and the fact that the AFC South is kind of in a weird place right now. We don't know how the Colts are going to be with Anthony Richardson. The Titans are swirling. The Jaguars collapsed down the stretch. So it's a smart horse to bet on if you're Saquon. Plus, if you're Saquon, one of the only teams that is in a position to spend on you is a team like that. So it also makes sense to connect yourself to them. But, we'll see how things ultimately unfold. I would love Saquon in Houston. I would love Saquon. And it doesn't have to be T. Higgins, but the Texans, we know it's not going to be Mike Evans, obviously, but the Texans need to get another pass catching option in their offense.
By my count, there are 7 running backs of note available. 7. 2 of them, one of them going into the Hall of Fame. He is. Derrick Henry's going to go in the Hall of Fame. But I
don't know. I mean, I will say he's got a chance.
If Eddie George
2,000-yard season.
If Eddie George is in,
Eddie George isn't in the Hall of Fame.
I thought he was in. Eddie George didn't get in? Then sorry, Derek, you're not in. I got to get Eddie George in. My gosh, my work just got harder. Somebody called John McClain. Put him on this. He seems to get everybody in he wants. Well, there are 7 running backs of note. And I think all of them have value, far more than what they're going to get paid on the grand scheme. Now, not settle. How can it be that the Cowboys can be penciled in and not penciled in by 2 different writers? And what is the price point you think Saquon will go at? And will he be the most expensive back to go?
I think he will be the most expensive back. I think that he'll probably land somewhere around $10 million a year. There will be incentives, to push him wherever, and that with it, there will be some funny agent report that is the way it gets twisted. Like assuming he hit, like the verbiage will be like assuming he hits all incentives, and Saquon Barkley is a world-class running back capable of doing so. It will be the biggest contract negotiated by a running back in some time. Saquon bet on himself, and it worked out.
So
that will be
they could kick incentives up to like $15 million if they,
maybe, yeah. That might be ultimately what it all kind of unfolds with. But to answer your question about the Cowboys part of it, I mean, the 3 teams he's most connected to are the Ravens, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. The Cowboys kind of explain themselves. The Ravens have the reigning MVP. The Eagles have been so good, and Howie Roseman is always connected to like genius moves. So it's posturing. That's a lot of this is posturing and narrative driving, and everyone's trying to get the most money for their side, including Saquon's representation.
Forgive me. The incentives don't count against the cap, right?
They would if they're hit.
If they're hit, they do count. But we don't know if they count against the cap till the. Do they count against the cap as if they already happened?
No, but I mean, you have to be prepared for that, obviously, like in hypothetical salary cap space.
So you have to have the space in case they do get it.
Yeah, I mean, these aren't going to be like $100 million worth of.
No, I'm just trying to. Again, I think $10 million is too much. I wouldn't pay Barkley $10 million. I wouldn't, but I would pay one of those backs 4 or 5. But I could, if the incentives, I'll worry about that at the end of the season. I can kick some incentives in there that'll make it worth their while.
I will totally pay one of those running backs $4 million. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think there'll be one out there? Because I'm not a Tony Pollard hater, but I'm ready to look someplace else.
You just have eyes for Saquon.
No, I want somebody who will move.
You were going to put him in the Hall, or no? It's Derrick Henry. You're going to put in the Hall of Fame.
But no, I want somebody that's going to move the pile. That's when I look at the running back situation. I go, you know what? I like what Pollard could do, but I think I could. But there's one thing they could not do last year. They tried a fullback. We did some other stuff. We saw what the tush push means. I want to be able to go get a yard.
I think that's a.
I know it's little. But that's hard to find.
That's a cliche that like, oh, this guy's just tougher and fights harder and will grind out the 1
cliches
yard
have
more.
their roots in truth.
That's fair. And football is obviously a really, really old game, but this is about so much more than that. And if you want to get a yard, then you need to go find a center and a left tackle or a left guard.
Oh, don't get smart on me. Yeah, you're right. But get up amongst the backs. And I got Tony Pollard at 3 and Josh Jacobs at 5. I'm like, ooh, that might be close. Tony Pollard at 3, DeAndre Swift at 4. I might be willing to pay DeAndre a little bit more. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody that I feel like will do something that Pollard, even at his best, is not capable of doing.
I disagrry that Pollard at his best is not capable of doing that. I mean, he was really good for them across the closing stretch of the season. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not about betting or gambling, but it's about calculated risk and it's about maximum ROI. You want positive return on investment because you have to spread that money to a lot of positions. Although I don't know that we'll see the Cowboys necessarily do that. But that being said, Pollard is the best buy low candidate. Like, he has the potential to deliver the most on the would-be investment. Like, it will be extraordinarily difficult for Saquon to deliver on a $10 million contract because within the landscape of the current moment.
I agree. But I think what I think most Cowboy fans who are kind of on the boat with me, kind of like indifferent about Pollard, maybe go back and watch some tape. Go back and watch the healthy years when we said, Zeke could go. Maybe I need to go back and look and remember what he did do. Because I do remember some stats that inside the tackles, he did pick up yards. Now, they weren't physical yards, but he's shifty enough to have a yard per carry inside the tackles.
But even the best running back can be limited by what's working around them, which is the argument against paying them. Because you need those resources elsewhere. And that's what Saquon has fallen victim to. And so it's ironic that Saquon would then chase. I mean, look, he should chase the bag. Every player should get as much as they possibly can.
See, Josh
but if Saquon, I mean, Josh says Saquon's getting 12 to 15. There's no way Saquon's getting 15 million. No way. He's not even getting 12.
Maybe with
he barely squeezed out 11 with the, fraud rework deal with the Giants last year.
All right, RJ, I want to judge something. So your expectation is very little, if nothing, is going to be done. Anything they do will be something that fell in their lap that they had to do or something like that. I want you to give me an F level, which is nothing. We know that. What would be this is the bare minimum thing to do? What would be something that might surprise you a little bit? And then what would be a home run in your mind for the Cowboys to get done this week?
I've eaten a lot of meals with you in the past. I've never really seen you put a lot of green on your plate. Is that a fair characterization?
No, I'm not. No, I do eat a salad. You're thinking of other guys.
No. I'm talking like green vegetables, like green beans, broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, stuff like that. Fair to say you generally avoid them?
No,
okay.
I'm
but a lot of people, I've never seen it, but whatever. I take your word.
I will order a B.
So my point is, you know how sometimes people be like, you got to get a green on your plate.
Yeah,
you got to have something. And so you just get like a lot of people actually say, well, you just said, I had a salad, right? Like I literally checked the box. So my prediction is the Cowboys will say, well, we have to get a center. We have to get either a left guard or a left tackle. And that will tell us, by the way, what they're planning on doing with Tyler Smith. If they sign a left guard, it's that he's going to play tackle and vice versa. They have to get another linebacker. They have to get another defensive tackle. They will find the bare minimum body counts. You know what I'm saying? So that they have literal bodies in the positions ahead of the NFL draft. That would be, I hate to say a passing grade, but that's par for the course at this point in time in terms of how they operate. A home run would be getting the extensions done with Dak, CD, and Micah and utilizing that salary cap space on young cornerstone-ish players. Now, there aren't a lot of amazing players available in free agency, and you can attack things by way of a one-year deal or whatever the case may be. But you have to understand that this is a sequence where you overpay. There's no player who is going to be amazing and going to be properly worth what you pay for them. You are literally trying to pay them as least amount as possible, and they're trying to garner as much as possible. So you have to accept that you're going to overpay some of these guys, and you have to be willing to do the creative salary cap management to push things down the road. You can't be afraid of that. And I mean, like, that's the other thing. Like, they're so afraid of pushing money down the road. Like, why? Like, I mean, and I hate to be so pedantic about it, but like, what's going to happen? Like, you're not going to win the Super Bowl? Oh no, like, we're not prepared for that at all. Like, we have no idea how to square that possibility. So like, why not try something different? And that's what would be a home run. And I would give them credit if they tried something different and they fell flat on their face. Hey man, you took a swing, but if you go stand up there with an 0-2 count and you just watch that pitch come down the bay and it's a called strike, you cannot turn around and argue with me about the subjectivity of the call. You had your chance. You stood there. You did nothing. And that's that. So they have to do something. That would be my goal for them.
It's going to be a busy day. It's going to be a busy week. Make sure you're tuned in to hear 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star at sasportstar.com. As all the news breaks, we're here to fix it. Coming back, if there's grievances to be yelled, we're here to listen. Let's let it out. Let's let that bad air out and the good in as we air our weekend grievances right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I have been with one book for as long as I've been here at San Antonio Sports Star. In fact, I've been with one book for so long, I can't remember any other book I've been with. That's BetUS.com. This is their 30th year heading toward the hoop. And as the mania begins, you need to head over to BetUS.com because they're doing stuff that nobody else is. How about 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits? How about 10% betting safety insurance? They've got that as well. If it's time to play, it's time to go to BetUS.com because that's where the game begins. Call them right now at 1-800-MY-BETUS, and here's what you're going to get. You're going to get 125% on your first 3 deposits. If you're bringing crypto, oh my goodness, it gets even bigger. 200% sign-up bonus on your crypto and gambler's insurance as well at just 10%. That's what they do for their players. And when you go to BetUS.com, you'll be fully prepared to make every play you want because they've got all the info you need. And in between all the games you're playing, they got live casino action as well. Where else is there to go but BetUS.com? Get your bonuses 125% times 3. Nobody does that. I've never seen that anywhere but at BetUS.com. They got the book, they got the casino, they got the plays, they got the bonuses. All you got to do is call them 1-800-MY-BETUS or go to BetUS.com. It's where the game begins.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, it is the legal tampering period in the NFL. What in the world are the Cowboys going to do?
Yeah, probably nothing, but the NFL world will be rolling. We'll have the latest. Plus, Spurs and Warriors will Wemby play on Monday night. We'll have the latest on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Don't you love an extra $100 in your pocket? Have a TurboTax expert file your taxes for you by March 31st to get $100 back instantly. Because no matter what moves you made last year, TurboTax makes them count. That means getting $100 back and 100% accurate taxes, only from Intuit TurboTax. Must file by 3/31. Credit only applicable to federal filing fees with TurboTax full service. Offer can be modified or terminated at any time.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Jaron.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, and move again, pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
The ultimate March Hoops experience is in downtown Las Vegas. Don't miss out on Mega March at Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino. There's no better place to take in the action than in the 6 pools at Circa with their 143-foot screen. Experience the game's poolside with various seating options. No matter the size of your group, Stadium Swim is the place to be. Find all the Stadium Swim options at circalasvegas.com and join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for Mega March at Circa Resort and Casino. Book now at circalasvegas.com.
This is the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Here are the grievances with Rob and RJ.
Here they are. Welcome back to the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Thank everybody for listening here. Now I ask you to do a couple of things while you're with us. Make sure you're on your device, and if you're watching us live, thank you. Make sure you are subscribed to that appropriate channel, and you like it on the regular basis. And if you're you have friends, tell a friend. Make sure you're letting everybody know that you are the smart person in the room listening to us. You asked for grievances. We do it on Monday about this time. I have one primary grievance that I am not going to be going with you to Las Vegas to broadcast live at the Cirque, but the Blitz will. You just heard the whole thing. Go to Circa, go to sasportstar.com for all the details. You can click on a link there if you want to go with the Blitz to the Cirque. They're going to be there March the 28th, 29th, 30th during Sweet 16 weekend. It's also opening weekend in baseball. Greg Maddux is going to be at the Cirque throwing out first pitch. Blitz is going to be broadcasting live if you want to go. They got 20% off. sasportstar.com. Click there. Use the code MINIX20. You're going to get even more off. What is that fantastic deal? So here we sit, the beginning of the legal tampering period, and I get the sense this week is going to be entirely frustrating for Dallas Cowboy fans as they sit and watch other teams improve their lot with all this extra money they've saved up or found, and the Cowboys are just going to, as you said, offer their bare minimums. With that knowing, starting on a Monday, I know it's going to be a hard week. So you need to start it in a zen-like feel. Do you have anything that you need to get off your chest, RJ?
I mean, it's just really frustrating. I mean, the Cowboys part of it, this is just like a permanent grievance. It's a grievance that's tattooed on me at this point. A real one, not a henna one. It is spring break, obviously. Dude, sweet. What does mine say? Dude, what is sweet? What's mine say? Yes, good times. Anyway.
And you actually had that on your back at one point.
I had sweet.
Yes.
That's right. So what bothers me about their approach is that it is so chasing their own tail. And I tweeted this out a little while ago. The Cowboys obviously have a hole at linebacker. And I tweeted that Stephen Jones will absolutely say at some point this offseason that the Cowboys feel like they're getting an extra draft pick with DeMarvion Overshown coming back, right? That like he will 1,000,000% say that. He'll say like, we really feel like we're getting an extra draft pick with Overshown coming back.
Did we say that with Jabril Cox before too?
Effectively. That's what I'm saying. Like these dudes are so predictable. And the frustrating thing, the grievance related thing is that, okay, like let's trace this back a little bit then. Fine, because you're factually correct that that's kind of true, right? Like you're gonna add him to the team and he didn't play for you last year because he got hurt. Okay. Why didn't he get hurt? Or why didn't he play? Because he got hurt. Okay. what happens if that happens to literally anybody else? like
Right.
why wouldn't you say this could happen again? We should be prepared for something like this. You know what I mean? Like the lack of learning your own lesson on stuff like this is just astounding to me. And I don't want to generalize or anything like that, but it does seem to be the case because there's no threat to their job security. Like if they mess this up or they miss or they're wrong or whatever, what blame really befalls them except for people in the world talking negatively about them, and they're well accustomed to that at this point.
Grievances are certainly relative. I mean, some people get upset with things that others just view as, like de rigueur everyday stuff.
I have a sports one if you're ready, like if you are emotionally ready.
I don't know if I'm emotionally ready, but I am.
A little while ago, it was reported by the Athletics Diana Rossini that Kirk Cousins will hit free agency and begin discussions with Atlanta as soon as the tampering window opens in 90 minutes per sources. This was obviously a little while ago. My grievance is I'm very excited about the idea of Kirk with the Falcons. Kirk with Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, that offense has the potential to be awesome. All right. They don't need to be walking around in those dumb uniforms. All right. Like teams do not need to stay committed to dumb uniforms. And this includes our San Antonio Spurs. You can go back. One of the greatest decisions that the Buccaneers ever made was deciding to go back to the uniform that they currently have right now, the logo and everything. They had those weird, people called them the alarm clock font, and the
sweaty
face mask was, yeah, but the face mask was kind of chrome. Like it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like it was really like it was mostly the Jameis era. And they say, you know what? We messed up. All right. That's on us. That's our bad. We completely got this wrong. We need to go back in time. We're going to go back to what we know was a hit. Good for you. The Miami Dolphins, I would offer, need to do the same thing. Nobody likes, there's not a Dolphins fan out there that looks at the Dolphins' current uniform set and says, this is better than the way it used to be. I would offer the same is true right now for the Spurs anytime they wear the City Connect uniforms. We don't like it. Just stick with what you know. You had your fun. You sold all the new ones. Stick with the ones we like. And furthermore, for the Atlanta Falcons, I don't even want you to go back to the ones that directly preceded this version of uniform. Go back to the red helmet. When we talked to Mike Smith and Matt Ryan at the Super Bowl, they both were like, yeah, that's the best look. The red helmet with the black, white, and gold stripe. That's what we need the Atlanta Falcons to be rocking. The Dirty Birds.
The weekend I spent was I tried to unplug, just kind of take in the weekend in basketball. You're a Fubo customer, right?
That's correct.
When you scroll, how do you go to the guide and scroll, or do you go to what's live and all?
Rob, see, this is not going to be a good grievance for you. You didn't answer whether mine passed or not, by the way.
Oh, it did.
So.
You have a worthy grievance.
Okay, well,
you have the best grievance of all the grievances.
I'm pretty confident that this is not going to pass because you have long lamented the interface of Fubo. It's very, very simple for me. You can set favorite channels. I go to my favorite channels. If I'm looking for something, I go to the guide. It's very straightforward.
But okay, so when you're scrolling, see, I was trying to catch all these basketball games, and I'm coming in this weekend, and thank goodness, at least the women's conference tournaments are done. But as the women's conference tournaments were on, and so were the men's last game of the season, when you're scrolling through, all of my sports channels, had the different games on. But when you're with Fubo, it just says like USC Stanford. It just says Creighton, whatever. It doesn't say men or women, which is okay. I get it. But when you're with Fubo, it's three button presses just to get to the game. And then to leave the game, you have to completely exit out and go back to the scroll. So they need to differentiate whether I'm watching men's or women's. Just give me the logo or something, because I bet over the weekend, I bet I wasted about an hour. Seriously, waiting to get out of one channel and then to go back to another because they wouldn't tell me exactly what I was watching.
If you hover over it and it shows you the description, like where it would show you like the description of an episode or something, it says NCAA M or NCAA W.
No, it doesn't.
It does. What are you talking about?
I'm not hovering correctly then.
I'm not going to fail the grievance because I don't know your setup.
It is an ongoing issue with me because they're so good at a lot of stuff. It's the little stuff. And here's another one. Last night, I went to try to watch the Academy Awards, and my wife wanted to record it. So I tried to record it and said, sorry, you've already recorded too much on this network. Like, what the hell is that? I don't even know what that means.
I think that means you've recorded too many things coming from ABC.
I checked. I hadn't. But what I had done is I have some things that are set to record regularly. And those, even though I'd erased my bank.
Even their future hypothetical. Wow.
They told me no. So my grievance is continued with cutting the cord. The programmers there get the process. They just don't understand the viewing idea. They don't have it completely meshed out right. That's my first grievance of the week.
I'm not going to fail you because, again, I don't completely understand what you're working with, but I'm not going to pass you either. This is
it doesn't
status
work.
quo.
It does, and I'm telling you the wasted time and the plays that you miss, because by the time you're trying to get back to the game you wanted to watch, in between the time you were trying to go from break, you get back and you miss something else because you're piddling around trying to get in there and watch.
Again, I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt here. I'm sorry.
All right, carry on. I'm trying.
Do you have another? Because you haven't hit yet. I hit on my first one.
You know, these are so easy, but it happened to me again at the grocery store.
Okay.
So I'm getting yesterday. I just rushed in and I rushed out. I was just going to get enough stuff for one meal, and I got to the checkout. And now when you go to the HEB, you can go to the quick check, where they'll just like 15 items, or you can go to the I'm going to do it myself and check yourself out. And normally I go pretty good there. So yesterday everything went well. I checked everything out, and I left a bag on the, because you know, when you check out at the HEB, if you don't put it in a bag, then you can't progress. You ever notice that?
Yeah. It's like it needs the weight.
Yeah.
It needs the weight because otherwise I'm assuming it thinks you're stealing or something.
So
you have to put it in the bag.
So here's where I am. When I normally go with the wife and family, we buy the big weekly thing. The package, the bag persons are awful. They either overstuff the bag, or they put everything in just one bag, so you're just carrying all these bags. There's never a perfectly stuffed bag or packed bag. You know what I mean? Like, you go sometimes and they just, like, everything is in a bag, but it'll be like one jug in a bag and like one box in a bag, and you've got all these bags. You can
inconsistency
on my gravestone. I wanted to say it only took him one trip. And I think it'll surmise a lot of things. But, I wanted to really, my life, I don't want to have to go back and forth to the car. I hate bringing in groceries. So I'm a stickler for bagging. But I will say this, a gallon jug in a plastic bag is dumb.
Yeah, just put the jug in. Like,
well, why is it at HEB I have to put it in a bag if I'm checking myself out? I don't want that bag. I just want to hold on to the jug. I don't want to waste that bag. But if I'm checking out, they'll go, I don't have to need to put it in a bag. We'll just put it on the cart.
You've definitely identified a flaw in the system.
There's a flaw. So I had to put my jug of Red Diamond Sweet Tea. This is an unpaid endorsement. Finest drink on the planet. And I left it. Now, that's on me, but I shouldn't have had to put it in a bag. I should have been able to just put it in the car.
I have one final grievance, if you'll allow me.
Oh, you got plenty of time. You got 1 minute and 20 seconds to tell us.
Very quickly. The Oscars were last night. And what is the number one problem that people run into when they want to watch the Oscars?
The number one problem, they don't know what. I don't know. I never had a problem.
They haven't seen this movie.
Oh, I haven't seen any of the movies.
Okay.
You're right.
So in our current day and age, there should be like a 1 week amnesty period where, like, some platform, the week or 2 weeks before the Oscars says, okay, all the Oscar movies are here. Everyone
for $20, you can watch all the movies.
Exactly, something like that. Charge, to your point, like $20, $30, whatever. You can have a watch party leading up to it, and all the studios agree to put all of them in this one platform or whatever. You don't have to do it for the whole year. Again, for like a 2-week run before the Oscars. So, because if not, they're all in different places. You have access to some, you don't have others. Like, it's difficult.
I didn't think it would happen. but we hit it out of the park. That is a double thumbs up. You are absolutely right. Hey, that's what the morning show's about. We got ideas. Now, somebody needs to charge out and get that done. Hey, the Blitz is just a couple of hours away, and Rome's on a vine, and here comes Greeny. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you again tomorrow. This has been the Morning Huddle.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1.